I didn't. I hit it
Oh,
afterwards.
oh,
So
okay.
thank you for ruining the intro.
Oh,
Thank you for
oops.
ruining the
I mean,
intro.
that's how you do. You start with the
Thank you for
shittiest
ruining the
intro
intro.
possible for the very first episode.
That way it can only go up, huh?
Exactly.
All right.
You already start from the bottom. You don't start anywhere but the bottom, and then you go.
All right. So you mentioned aliens. What's going on with that?
Okay, so apparently the government, and this came out a while ago. This was like maybe,
I got to sell out real quick. Hold on.
uh,
Like they do in the movies. Oh, so did you get that thing? Yeah, put the logo in front of the camera.
but just like in the movies, you can't actually drink it. You just
That
wait, what?
always bugs me. I know I know you're an actor. Like, are you like? Is there a reason why whenever they be like,
Yes.
I brought you coffee, and you can clearly see that they're holding an empty
Mm-hmm.
cup because it has no weight to it.
You can't drink it.
Wow.
So, uh, TV shows do it more than movies. So in TV shows, you're not actually supposed to actually use the product. The product is there just for placement. So you, as an entity, as an actor, you
Hmm.
are your own brand.
Okay.
So so you drinking a Coke is like saying you, the actor, endorses this product instead of just holding the product where the show endorses it. You know what I mean? And then you put it down.
Okay. That's
Also,
kind of weird,
spit
but
takes a thing. So as far as it's also easier during the shooting. So like let's say you had that Coke or whatever or
mm,
Sprite. Every time, that'll be easy because it's like an empty can. But let's say you pour that into a glass. The
mm.
reason why you don't see a lot of people actually drinking stuff or eating stuff is because there's so many takes you have to do.
Yeah, okay, I get
Because
that.
there's not 10 cameras around shooting at every angle. So you have to do this angle first and shoot this actor and shoot all his parts and the other person's supposed to be there. And then you flip and do that. But sometimes there's reactions too, like, oh, we need to get him a reaction of what he's saying over here. So
Mm,
it's a constant move of film. So if you're sitting there eating the whole time in between like talking and listening and stuff like that, like a
yeah.
natural person would, the food will go away on the plate in one shot, but in another shot, it'll be full again.
Yeah.
Or there'll be food on your fork when there wasn't before, or like stuff be out of place. That's usually why every time you see like a breakfast scene, there's nothing but eggs on the plate.
Mm,
Eggs and two strips of bacon because you can't really get that wrong in post. But
okay.
if you got like eggs, bacon, ketchup right here, but the ketchup is messed up or something like that, like
Mm.
that's kind of stuff that it looks weird in editing when you have to go and chop stuff up.
I see what you're saying because then
Yeah,
people will notice the stuff on the plate's not there or it's different.
exactly. So you give the illusion of eating, which is putting it towards your mouth, but without actually taking a bite of it.
Yeah, but then it's
In the
no
in the movies, it's different.
nobody believes that though. Like I know, like I remember watching movies coming out of the 80s and into the 90s. You would show people eating. Like if you watch an old western movie, or hell, I can even go back to what was it, Terminator 2, when they got to
Yep.
the psych ward scene of filling the coffee cup and stuff and stirring it up and then drinking it. It's like you see a lot in older movies, but like in TV shows, it's like you just see them walking with empty cups, and it's
Yep.
like they're supposed. It's like why even have it in the scene? Why not just write the scene like, oh, somebody's coming into the room. Hey, hey Jolly, what's going on? I was like, I heard you got the case or whatever. Why even have the coffee? Why fake the coffee cup in the carrying tray? It's like why do it?
Because it has to. It's just illusion. Try to make it natural. But there
Mm.
are some directors that's like, no, you fucking take a bite. If
Yeah,
you
like
got food on
it's
your plate, you eat it because now you got food in your mouth and you still talk at the same time. So there are certain sets where you have a trash can next to you, you spit it out.
mm,
But there's other actors who's like, my method, I have to eat it.
yeah,
So they won't eat nothing the whole day because you may have to shoot that scene for the next 15 minutes and you have to do 15, 20 takes
yeah. So
and
you're
you got to take a
constantly
bite
eating the
every take
food, and yeah, I get you.
and you're constantly full. But some directors be like, eat that shit. Other directors be like, eat it, spit it out, or like
Yeah,
bite it, spit it. Some people just like, I'm not eating, that kind of thing.
yeah. It just makes more. It looks, or at least in my opinion, it looks more natural when somebody. If I'm talking to you like, prime example, because I got some sushi here in front of me. Like if I was an actor, right, and I was
Mhm.
talking and be like, oh yeah, we talking about this scene, and all right, so what you got to do is you got to go over here and do this, and I'm talking, but my
Yeah,
words is getting messed up and stuff. But it's
yeah.
more natural to see that than just baking a coffee cup and setting it down on a desk, and now it's not never gonna move.
Now, imagine someone messing up a shot. You got to spit that out because if
Hey,
not, you just got to swallow that, and then you have to keep eating it again every single time.
I don't care. There's some good ass sushi. I'm good.
I'm mad right now. I want some sushi. That wait, did that come from Walmart? I feel like that's Walmart
Mm-mm,
sushi.
mm-mm.
Where?
This Chinese food place that's near me.
Oh, actual Asians making seafood. I love it. Like it. Like there's not that many places that make really good sushi,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like a lot of the places that do make sushi, if it's not an Asian person making it,
Yeah.
I don't really want it because it's like, oh, here's a California sushi roll that has cucumber in it with avocado, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
get the fuck out! Like, no, where's my fish? Where's my soy sauce? That kind of thing. And I'm not saying it to be racist because I say it like this: if if I go and get fried chicken and there's not a black person
Think
making
the
my
same
fried
thing. You be
chicken,
like,
I don't want
mm.
it. I don't want it. Like
It better be
unless
it better be an old black lady or like an old racist ass white lady.
hey,
Somebody
something
from the south.
exactly. Exactly. If not, it's not going to taste the same. And I know this because I've tried fried chicken from a lot of places and
Mm-hmm.
from different people, and not everyone seasons their food the right way. Like
Nope.
especially fried food, like fried chicken.
Yeah.
I can't stand it when people don't season fried chicken. It's like it's just breading on chicken. It's like you have to still put salt and pepper or something in it. Like
Mm.
there's no way
Be like
because
that
now you
Facebook video from a couple months back. Just be like,
when
all
you
right, and then
yep,
season your chicken. All
season your
right.
chicken. You put salt on like a dime sized spot on the chicken. Like that's not seasoning. I feel like that was like a
Oh, a
play.
joke.
That wasn't real. That could have been real. Because it's like that must be the blandest house ever. Like all they do is do sex and missionary and they eat bland chicken. Get the fuck out of here.
Some people are like that, man. They're just bland
I
people.
mean, if that's you, that's you. But it ain't me though. I'm putting spice everywhere. Shit.
Just need some hot sauce on you. All right, now go get a towel and wipe all that stuff off.
You know what I'm
And now the joke hits.
you, you think we talking about food? We ain't talking about food. For a
Nah,
second there, I
man.
thought we were talking about food. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Ah, man. So what's this alien stuff you was telling me about? We discovered
Okay.
aliens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My bad. So yes, apparently aliens do exist because a few months ago. Hold on, right quick. I'm amazed that there isn't a lot of lag right now with Twitch. Like we're
Okay.
literally like 2 or 3 seconds behind.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
It's that good upload
Um,
speed I got.
if you type in aliens, U.S. government, about
Oh,
sometime in
you trying to get us shut down? Aliens, U.S. government. That's mm.
hey, let it out. Aliens, U.S. government. This happened April. Yeah, that's what it was. Like April of this year. The I want to say Navy. They released video footage of UFOs, and they literally said it's unidentified flying objects in the sky. And
Which link?
let me see the first one. You can do the first one.
New York Times.
Yeah, if it's New York Times, you probably got to have buy a subscription to that shit or something. Oh, yeah, you don't. Yeah, look at that shit.
Okay.
That's actually from U.S. Navy. Um,
Can we play this and not get like messed up or something? I mean, I don't know all the rules on Twitch, but
fuck it, play it. I don't care. We'll just move to YouTube.
So these are just like actual UFOs or just objects that they don't know what they are and they're just calling it a
Well, so
UFO.
a UFO is a
Kind of.
unidentified flying object. Yeah.
Okay.
And apparently this is something they spotted in the night sky at one point and was just tracking it with their computers and cameras. And
Okay.
there's other videos out there. It's like 5 or 6 different videos that they released. And you got like different lights, you got different movements. And in one video, it showed this thing moving, like how fast it was moving.
Mm.
And they calculated it to be moving at Mach speeds, and it was turning on a dime. Like it was
Mm.
moving so fast where it would zip and like dead stop, zip, dead stop, and then move up and down, left and right. But it was moving in such large areas. See, like that thing. They're trying to track it right now, but it's moving so fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I remember reading a book that was about spacecraft that can move at like right angles and stuff really fast.
Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at it fly.
Okay, so yeah, they just don't know what it is.
Yeah, but it's moving really
Yeah.
fast.
If
There's
it's
a whole
moving,
fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh.
let me turn that down a bit.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
Okay. Yeah, because if it's turning and slowing down and like what you said, going against the wind, then
Yeah.
it's pretty much proven that it's something that
That's not LNS though, is it? It's not.
either has intelligence
Well, if
or
there's like other things.
something that's being piloted.
Yeah. And it's like it's rotating all these things. And it's doing things that regular jets can't really do.
Mm.
So if you're going against the wind in a jet, no matter how aerodynamic they are,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of drag on it. That thing is moving against the wind and it has little to no drag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it's turning and it's doing things in midair and it's floating. Regular jets don't do that. Like not in like upper atmosphere where they're just constantly moving. They don't just stop and hover because you need force to be able to hover in one place. And that thing apparently doesn't need that.
Yeah,
so
it's the difference because between all of our aircraft, you need air to fly. If we didn't have air, airplanes wouldn't fly; they would just fall. But if you have,
you need air to glide.
Well, you need air to fly as well because when you
to lift and
because it causes lift. That's what keeps the plane in the air along with the thrust. But like if you have anti-gravity and your thing just didn't use nothing with air, then you can just do whatever you want, and it's like a sci-fi thing. So yeah, that's.
I mean, like we're saying it like it's nothing, but literally.
Yeah.
They're like the government has released videos like, yes, this is an actual government entity that said, hey, this is the shit that we found and it's real. And I forgot who did this, but it's like one of the I want to say like the governors or one of the higher ups in that political atmosphere. I don't really care about that shit. Like he requested these videos to be released. And because the government has it, it's that I forgot what they call it, like the access of information from the government. If it's not really classified, like over time, classified
Freedom of Information Act or something like that.
Yeah, that over time classified stuff will actually be brought out.
Yeah,
and it becomes declassified. Yeah, just like that's how we got like the Bay of Pigs and stuff like that from like the Richard Nixon era, all that stuff. Originally, all this stuff was classified. But over time, we was able to have access to that information. Same thing with this. That stuff, it's time for it to come out. So they had actually asked for it. And there it is. Like those are the UFOs that everyone was talking about. They don't even look really like flying saucers.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, like I'm assuming a UFO. I mean, think about it like this. How many different types of aircraft do we have? It could look like anything. It could be, I mean, hell, in some science fiction cases, they say the most easy shapes to, let's say, make an aircraft out of is like squares, circles, the most
Yeah.
mathematical geometric shapes and stuff to fly with. It makes sense. So
I mean, so yeah, there's that. Um, to me, that's pretty crazy because it's like one of those urban myth legends that I feel like people created,
yeah.
but now it's actually true.
Well, I'm glad that it's because I'm somebody like I've always believed in aliens because because I'm a science person, so it's like the likelihood of like us being the only people out here, it's like that's incredibly vain to me.
Yeah,
Just like how they used to think back in the day of like, oh, or the universe revolves around us. Like, why do you just assume that? It's like, why do you think we're the only species out here? Like personally, I've always believed it's like if you ever watch anime and they
hmm
always talk about space stuff. If the anime isn't about going into space and doing space stuff, like for instance in Tenchi, when aliens come to Earth and stuff like that, they always talk about like, man, Earth is like in the backwater of the galaxy. Like we're like the country planet that don't nobody go to because
yeah,
there's no reason to come out here. So it makes a whole lot of sense. So like I've always believed it's like that. It's like we're just in the ass end of nowhere. So, but that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. This got released and it got on news. Like Fox did something on
Mm,
it. A bunch of news channels talked about it, but everything is kind of drowned out right now with racial tensions,
yeah.
the presidency, uh, politics, and protests. All this stuff got drowned out. Nobody's talking about it. It's if this happened in the year 2000,
Yeah.
everybody would be crazy right now. Like
Sure.
everybody would be talking about
We should make
this.
a whole YouTube video just seeing what kind of conspiracy stuff we should dig up and then talk about
I ain't trying to get shot. You know
it.
what I
Good point.
mean? Like,
Good point.
I ain't trying to be assassinated in this motherfucker. We just started the Twitch channel, dog.
Good
We
point.
gotta wait. We gotta wait until we get followers, like enough followers that if we came up missing, people would be wondering what happened. Yeah.
You're right. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be that guy who'd be like, no, the people have a right to know. Nah, no, they don't.
Mm,
No, they
mm.
don't. You want me to do what? Destroy my evidence? Cool, I got you.
Shit,
It'll be done by the end of the business day today, good sir.
boy. That's one of those.
Yep. Let me burn this real quick. I don't have nothing.
Mm-mm. Like, here, read this. I ain't reading that. I skim it halfway down. Well, you want me to say what? Nah, nah, nah. I don't even know what I just read. That was in Japanese to me. I don't. You could that shit could have said some ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. I didn't. I don't know what the hell that was.
And be like, I don't even know what I thrown on there. It's like I didn't have nothing in my hand. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shoot.
I can neither
I'm sorry.
like what did it say? I can neither confirm or deny that I had anything in my hand or that I read anything.
I saw the first word said classified, then I immediately went blind. I don't know what happened.
Like I always think like that in movies and stuff. You know how like when you have like the bad guy talk to somebody who has like a reporter or something, and they have that conversation and be like, look, I want you to destroy the evidence or I want you to sit on this, and they'd be like, no, the people have a right to know or whatever. I'd be one of those people. They'd be like, all right, now this conversation never happened. I'd be like, I don't know what conversation you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Like you were like, I don't even. You're like, sir, this is my first time seeing you. You were never here. Like I don't.
Who the
What
fuck are you?
conversation? We
Yeah.
didn't have any. We didn't talk. I'm not getting shot over somebody else's mess. That.
I mean, also shot over what? Why would anybody shoot me? Because I don't know
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
So,
It might be a race crime or something. I don't know.
you know what I mean? Who are you? Who am I? Who is any of us? You know what I mean? Like, why are we all here?
Why are we here? That's the bigger question.
Why? Doesn't matter. Does it matter? Wait, does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. Don't matter to me. Anybody ask me shit, I say it don't matter. What were we talking about again? Just nervous for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there's that.
That's what's up. It's by it being drowned out and stuff. It's kind of it makes me mad because people were saying that there's plenty of people out there who claim that they've been abducted by aliens and stuff, and how many people have had
Been
or
anally raped by aliens with
yeah,
probe.
yeah. Like I don't know
How,
how much of
is
that.
that where you're going with this?
Well, I mean, yeah, well, any type of alien abduction story, but
Oh,
I mean, it's like I'm not sure how much of that I believe, but anybody who comes out with this alien stuff, it's like you're immediately discredited, all of that stuff. Like they had a guy who he, I want to say, linked information to somebody else who put up or made a documentary
mm,
about the Area 51 thing and about Americans working on spacecraft and stuff that they found back in the day. And this guy basically was a part of one of the science teams that they brought in to study the engine of whatever the spacecraft was. And
mm.
I forget the guy's name. Maybe I can go back and find it in an article. But they compartmentalized all the information from what he said. So he only knew what his team was doing, but there were other people that were coming and going too. And his team was like, okay, figure out what propels this craft. So that's what his team was working on, and like another team would work on.
That wait, that was a legitimate thing.
Yeah, yeah. And it
So
would
this isn't a science fiction book. This is like in the actual documentary.
no. This is yeah, and yeah, real life.
Oh
And
shit!
he was telling somebody else this information. So he was just basically telling his experiences with Area 51, and whatever craft that they were working on. You know, because they had to live near the base. They used to come and go. He worked on what his team worked on, while other teams worked on other parts of the spacecraft because they couldn't tell whatever it was.
Mhm.
And ever since, I want to say they didn't, let's say, let him go, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, your team studied this for like 10 years and he left and did something else. But they tapped his phones, they watched all the stuff because to try to
Wow.
prevent him from leaking any information, so they kept an eye on him.
At that point, that'd be like forever.
Yeah. And they've even like discredited him a little bit, saying like, oh, he didn't work for us, blah 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 blah, trying to hide the fact that it did happen. But according to this one person, I mean, he and this other person made a whole documentary talking about his experiences at this Area 51. I forget what it was, but it was something I found on YouTube one day. Like, this is something that happened, or they made the documentary probably a few years ago.
Hmm.
But it was really cool to listen to. It was like a few minutes long, or maybe like an hour or something like that. But it was cool to listen his perspective as far as what happened and stuff like that. And it's one of those things where it's like, if he was lying, then how do you explain all the other stuff that lines up with what he said? So it's like, okay, yeah, he's probably telling the truth about it. And he was like an older white guy, let's say 50, 60 something years old, college educated scientist guy. So it's like, why would you be lying about aliens? For what reason would you have? What would you have to gain from it? So
You know, I never hear about black people being affected.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's probably plenty of people out there that's got abducted, but it's not the main stream. Like all of those alien abduction stories, or at least all the ones that I've heard, it's people dream and then they go missing, or they traveling down a country road. There's always some forgotten time in there somewhere. I was doing something else, and suddenly I don't remember what I was doing, or I was this like driving down the road, and you just don't know where you went and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the alien abduction stories are probably not true.
Mhm.
So where it's like I forget what they call that. It's like where you make up your story based on other stories that you've heard. Where like I'm sure some people's are probably true. Like if aliens are coming to Earth, I'm pretty sure they're studying us like we study insects and animals and all that extra shit. So they probably kidnap some people. But the stereotypes of alien abductions, people
Yeah.
probably hear that, and if they think they've been abducted or whatever, they just tailor their stories to those stereotypes to make up their own experience. And then if you lie to yourself for the longest time, you start believing the lie. So then to them, they believe that they've been abducted. So, but you could say the
Uh,
same thing about religious epiphanies, people walking in the woods seeing demons and stuff, and can't all the things in life that we just not necessarily can't explain, but we can't explain in the moment because there's nobody around to study them while people are seeing whatever it is that they're experiencing. So
I mean, I'd say it like this: if your butthole puckers every time you hear aliens, I mean something happened. There's no other way around that.
I
I'm
don't know.
just saying.
I forgot what comedian or something was saying. He was like, "Why would aliens or something come all the way, come millions of miles across the galaxy to study our asses? Doesn't make sense." It's like, wait, what could they possibly learn?
What is the level of dilation between humans?
Yeah, like what? We don't look at we do look at, but we don't go to animals and be like, oh, let's just stick this up their ass to do something. It's like, come on. but
I
we
got
do
to be
that.
honest, man. We kind of do. If you've ever been on a farm before, we stick our arms to a lot of different places where they shouldn't be.
Well, I mean, we were talking about 48 inches last night, so.
Okay. Also, realize that you just said we were talking about 48 inches last night. First off, I'm not gay. Second, that was a whole nother podcast that we did where we talked about 48 inches of arm going into places, not to each other and not on each other. Just to clarify, I'm still secure in my sexuality. That's all I'm saying.
I don't have to justify it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not dating
Yeah.
nobody on Twitch. At least not yet. All those cam girls, come holler at your boy. Just saying. I'll be like Duke Nukem. Shake it, baby. Paying the money. But then isn't there OnlyFans?
It's such an old reference. It's such an old reference. I don't think anybody's gonna get the thing.
No, they don't still make Duke Nukem games. No. Yeah, you're right.
They made one Duke Nukem game like maybe a year and a half ago, and it didn't do nearly as good as they thought it was going to do.
Oh, you mean Duke Nukem Forever?
Was it? Is that what it is? Duke Nukem Forever?
Yeah,
it was like the very last game.
Yeah, that was the one that was like everybody's been waiting like 10, 15 years for, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a year ago.
How long ago was that? Don't do that. Don't say it's more than 10 years.
No, it's not more than 10, but let me see. I want to say it's like 6 or 7.
6 or 7? Nope, I don't believe you. Okay, nope.
Hold on.
See, now I'm upset. Now I want to know.
You're right. It wasn't 6 or 7. It was more.
Are you serious?
2011.
Okay, Google. When was the last Duke Nukem game?
According to Duke Nukem Wiki, fandom, the most recent installment in the main video game series, Duke Nukem Forever, was delayed for more than a decade after the initial announcement during April 1997.
Dog.
Thank you, Google.
It was that long?
Yep. Because they made it. They made it, and it was just pretty much like an old school average first person shooter. But the problem with that is we're not back in the day, so all of his cheesy one-liners and stuff just felt old, and nobody was into it. Even Duke Nukem fans didn't like that game.
Okay, maybe I had heard about it last year or 2 years ago. Maybe that's when I first heard about the game, because I was never a Duke Nukem fan like that. Except for I want to say the very, very first one, where I think it was on N64 and the boss was on a football field or something like that, like this giant bug pig thing on the football field.
Yeah, that was a Duke Nukem 3D.
Okay, yeah, that's the only one I remember.
Yeah, I think that was one of the
stuff.
I want to say that was one of the expansions for that, but I think that was the third one, because GTA started off the same way, where like how like GTA 1 and 2 were like top down type games. Duke Nukem 1 and 2 were side-scroller games, like old school PC side-scroller games.
Oh, okay.
And then when they made Duke Nukem 3D, that's when it became that character.
Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Those cam girls.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be okay with your girlfriend having an OnlyFans account? But
Okay.
You didn't. Like when you got together, she didn't have one. Then she created one. Would you be okay with that?
Personally, probably not. It's never been my thing. And the women that, let's say, I usually date, they are intelligent, they have a good head on their shoulders, regular careers, not cam girl type shit. So I don't know. I mean, if she was making tons of money with it, and let's say we're like, I was paying half of the bills, she was paying half of the bills, and that allowed, let's say, her to save money to raise our kids or whatever, put them through college or whatever, then it's like, I got to look at it from that frame of mind. If I'm married to her, that's something different. But if I'm dating somebody, it's like, that's not what I'm looking for. It's like, I don't care who she shows her body to. That's between her and them. But like, it's not, that would be a turnoff for me. So, but that's me.
What about a chick that is always like taking selfies? Like every time you see her, she's taking a selfie in the mirror, but she's showing her butt in the mirror. Like not her straight up cheeks, but like just constantly trying to show off her body in some kind of way.
To me, I don't mind that. That's just, you think you look sexy, so go ahead and do it. I do the same thing in all the characters when I make chicks in video games. That's how I dress in a lot of that shit. So that's just attitude at the end of the day. That's just her. Oh, I look good as shit. Let me do this. Let me look sexy in this picture. So it depends on the meaning behind, why she's doing it. And now if she's doing that, flirting, not necessarily flirting, but you know how like some women talk online to other men, and I guess not necessarily flirt, but they act like they want to get with them and shit. Then that could be something. I would, if that was the reason, I'd be like, wait a minute, why are you talking to this other guy? Then that could be a whole thing. But if it's just her posing for a picture, because that's, people take selfies nowadays. That's just what it is. People take selfies of food and pictures and all that kind of sort of stuff. So if it's just her making herself look sexy to throw up on a Facebook page or a social media, who would I be to say, no, you can't do that shit? Like, what kind of shit is that?
No, you can't, but like, would you be okay with it? That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with her uploading stuff to her accounts like that.
I don't see a problem with body positivity, but what I do see a problem with is attention seeking.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I said. It's the reason behind why she's doing it to me. That I would have a problem with. But, yeah.
It's like if you're trying to get like just a bunch of guys like, ooh, yo, baby, that looks great or whatever, or like a bunch of hard eyes on your Instagram post, whatever. To me, that's when it becomes a problem. It's like, why? Well, also, I do have that same mind of frame where a lot of that stuff is stupid to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't see myself seeking attention like that because I don't really care. I guess every now and then it's like it's nice to know that hey, someone still finds you attractive, but not as much where I'm trying to do that shit every day, or like I'm constantly in the mirror or constantly making some kind of kissy face to the damn phone. It's just shit. That's annoying.
Yeah,
I don't really see it that often in generations past. When I say generations past, I mean like just a little bit older than me. Like 35-ish, 36, 37. Like, I don't see a lot of women doing that. Oh, I forgot. Oh, motherfucker.
Yeah, shit, I turned 37 the 18th of next month.
Yo, congratulations, man.
I'm sorry, this month, because it's now August.
See, you're still young. 30, even 40 is still young. Like, in today's era, if you're talking about, 100 years ago, 40 was like, dude.
You're lucky to be alive.
How are you still here? Especially if you're black. How are you still here?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you eating? What kind of fried chicken are you eating? Because it must be good for you. Now we got like healthcare and so much like
Yeah.
food, so many like the studies that was done 100 years ago
Mm-hmm.
based on the food that they were gonna like give to those people to see what happens. Like that information is now given to us.
Yeah.
So that way now we're living longer because we know what to eat, what not to eat, know that cigarettes actually kill you, know that alcohol actually kills you. Like stuff that they was doing back then where it was like an everyday thing is like now we know that most of that shit is bad. Some of the stuff that we're doing now is good, but then also what kind of new effects do this drug have or this way of eating, the whole food diet, the vegan diet, that kind of thing. Like shit that they didn't have back in the day.
Well, not even that. It's one of those things with we have the advantage of technology and the internet. That alone makes information readily accessible. So like back in the day, like when we were coming up, you only learned what you got from school and what you got from your home or let's say your friends and stuff like that. And most people, you believe what you're told. Like for instance, all the lies that they tell you back in the day or told us back in the day. Oh, drinking milk is good for you. Remember that
Yo,
fucking food pyramid? Fucking lies.
yo,
All the shit that they told you about food and dairy and cigarettes, all that stuff. Well, shoot, I'm gonna say this now that I'm older. Everything you learn in life, if it's by companies or by government, 9 times out of 10, it's fake. Cartoons on the internet, they're not made because they want to make a cartoon. They're only made to sell you toys, merchandising. If like for
what do you
instance,
wait? What do you mean cartoons on the internet?
well, I'm just saying just in general, a lot of things in life, it's all syndicated bullshit. Like for instance,
Oh yeah.
that's the reason why they canceled Static Shock, Teen Titans, all the good cartoons that let's say like they just get rid of, like Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. They only make cartoons so that they can get toy deals with Mattel and all those other toy companies. The moment your show doesn't sell toys, they cancel your show because making an animated show is expensive. So that's how they get a lot of their money back. They put up the money up front to make it, and then they supplicate that with the toy sales that they from the deals that they make with the toy companies. So that's the reason why they make cartoons since like the fucking 70s, just to sell kids toys. That's it. So a lot of things that you learn in life is just if you look at why they're being made or why we're told something, it's all lies. It's all of it. And at least in today's day and age, you can actually go on the internet, find out the knowledge for yourself, and learn, through some learning through some investigation that not everything is true. Just because you were told something in school doesn't make it true, especially when it comes to everything. Let's say fitness. There's tons of fitness channels and stuff on YouTube. Hell, the biggest guy in the world, what's the guy's channel name? Athlean X. You may have seen his ads on Facebook. They pop up where he's like always talking about doing bicep curls, but he has like a skinny stomach. He just looks weird when it comes to the waist, but he's like a white guy. Biggest YouTube
Never
channel.
seen it.
Yeah. Type in like Athlean-X or something in YouTube. But he's like the biggest fitness guy in the world. And
Shit, pull it up on the video.
Okay. Keep forgetting we can do that. Let me see.
Guys. Oh, hey, also, did you find a way to put a title on this thing?
Oh, you mean like on the video?
On the screen, yeah.
Yeah, my fault. I didn't even type none of that in. Guess we're going raw on Twitch. No video title.
Hey, like I said, start from the bottom and then you have nowhere to go but stuff.
I don't know if I can change any of that stuff without. I don't know if I can change that without stopping the thing.
No, don't worry about it.
All right. But this was the guy I was talking about. That guy.
Oh, that dude, Athlean X, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are talking about he uses fake weights in his videos.
He uses fake weights.
That's what people are saying. Like if let me see, let me just click on one of his videos real quick.
I be watching that dude stuff all the time.
Yeah, me too. I'm subbed
Well,
to
not
him.
all the time. I was trying to do some like workouts from him.
But like, yeah, like I've been subbed to him for a while. But let me just see if anybody's saying it. But
You may have to make us a little bit smaller because
yeah, I know.
I can barely see anything.
All right, hold on. I will fix that real quick. Because we're prepared like that. We got that good production value, like unlike a lot of channels and stuff. Bam. Problem solved. Do that on the fly. All right, why am I blurry? Yep. Camera. Don't do. There we go. That's my crisp face. Okay. But some people were like watching his stuff and they were basically saying like when you let's say like if you are in fitness and you go to the gym and you deadlift something, you know how the bar moves, the bar kind of curves in or curves out a little bit because it has to lift all of that weight. People were saying, yeah, like when they watch his videos and he's doing like a deadlift or lifting something that's like 300, 400 something pounds, that the bar don't bend or like the weight don't look right when you're looking at it. And people were like, oh, they think he uses fake weights to make it look like he can lift that much when really he's not doing it. So it's like, and plus there's a lot of fitness people. I mean, I'm not saying this is all about him, but there's a lot of fitness people and stuff on YouTube and everywhere else that where they'll be like, oh, you know, if you do this exercise, you can get this kind of build or whatever. And they may be taking some kind of steroids or some type of enhancement drugs to get that physique, but they just be lying their asses off about it. You know, so, you know, same thing with the diet channels. Oh, do this diet and you'll lose weight, or hell, even go down the rabbit hole even further. Those bullshit diet channels. Oh, if you mix Coke and aspirin and mix it up and drink it, it'll make you lose 50 pounds in a month. Okay.
My goodness. It doesn't. I tried it. I'm just
but like, you know, that's what I mean. It's like no matter what industry you're in, life is just a bunch of lies. And you have to find the small path of truth in it. Essentially.
well,
we all do.
It's just sales.
Yeah.
Like life is about sales.
Yeah.
And if someone is getting in front of you, they're basically trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
They're either trying to sell you on a product or an idea. And sometimes that idea may not necessarily be of any monetary value, but it's based on time. You know, just give me a moment of your time, a moment of your time. You know, it's like everyone's trying to sell you your time, whether they're showing you this TV show or movie, shit, even a podcast. Everyone's trying to find a way to buy or not buy, but sell you something.
Yeah.
And the currency is either going to be your time or your money.
Yeah, see from the videos, that's what I was, well, you can't see which one I'm pointing, but all the videos up there.
Yeah. Fake weights.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to show you, but it's, you know, a lot of people were talking about it in the fitness thing, so. But, you know, he ain't the only guy. There's plenty of people talking about other people and stuff like that, too. That's on YouTube, just like anywhere else. Same thing.
Look how the motherfucker look.
Oh, yeah. Same thing. Same thing with celebrities and stuff. Whenever you hear them talk about, like, you know, all the superhero diets and stuff that they do. Oh, I eat tons of boiled chicken, rice, and broccoli.
Rice and broccoli.
And it's like if you and some fitness people be like, look, you can eat that for a whole year and not look like that. You're taking something. Or those celebrities who, like, in order to look like that, you have to have good genetics. And you have to been doing like fitness stuff for like what those guys do
for years,
for like 15, 20 years, like ever since you were in high school or before. You can't look normal as like as 20 something and then turn around in 5 years look like that. You can't do it naturally. It will not happen. So a lot of
you saying that Chris Pratt didn't do that?
Well, a lot of those superhero guys probably didn't do that shit. Yeah, I mean, I'll throw all of them under the bus.
I don't know, man. Like, Chris Pratt was like a major inspiration for me when I was trying to do weight loss at one point in time.
Yeah.
Seeing him go from like Parks and Recreation with like a stomach and everything like that to 3 or 4 months later looking like that for Guardians of the Galaxy. I will say this though.
That's not well in my in
That
my mind. I'm
that
not.
seemed like such a quick amount of time to get that body in
Yeah,
such a quick amount of time.
yeah.
Because getting skinny, that's one thing, but actually building muscle,
That's hard.
no
Yeah,
matter, it's hard to rush that naturally
yeah. The only
because
way
the
you can
body
do
can only
that.
repair so much.
Yeah, the only way you can do that is if you have some type of steroid or some type of enhancement that lets you build muscle quicker. Like for him, since he didn't look all that buff to me, like he looked like he just lost weight and got athletic. So that him, maybe I wouldn't count into that. But I'm thinking like Hugh Jackman or like somebody where like you in your 30s and your 40s and it's like you look like yeah, like you remember him in the Wolverine looking jacked as
Yeah,
shit. It's
yeah.
like
How old was he then, though?
I would say what had to be late 30s, early 40s, or mid 40s.
Really?
That was only a few years ago. Yeah,
I didn't see him as that old.
yeah. He's probably I would assume in his 40s, if not 50s.
Oh,
And you know that's weightlifting is just like anything else. Once you get that once you hit your like your mid 30s, going into your 40s, yeah, all those gains fucking stop. You got to work twice or three times as hard to maintain. Whereas in your 20s, you can do it. So that's
yeah.
why a lot of people look at that and be like, no, you got to be doing something. Like people think that there's just like one type of fucking steroid. There's like thousands of types of different steroids or different things that you can do. You know, they got steroids that you can take, and if you take it the right way, your body won't fuck up. you know, you don't. Not everybody's on like the bodybuilding type stuff where that fucks get that
And your
shrinks
PP won't shrink.
yeah, like that shrinks your nuts or messes up your heart and shit. That's when those bodybuilders go the extreme route with it. But I'm sure actors, they probably can go to like those certain doctors and be like, look, I just need a little bit of something to help me out in the gym. You know, I got this movie coming up.
Man,
And hell, the studios probably promote that shit. It was like, oh, we're gonna get you this guy, and he gonna get you straight. We got to put out this movie that's gonna make $1 billion. Come on, get this work.
if they do, I wouldn't mind that because an actor's job is to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And if that's what's going to keep getting you that money, you might as well keep on doing it. I mean, for me, it's kind of the same thing. I'm like, I'm an actor, but
yeah.
right. I had to ask my agent, like, look, man, am I overweight? Like, are there any like, do I need to work out? Do I need to lose weight? Do I need to move to California or Georgia? And they're like, no. If you want to lose weight, do it because you want to, not because, of some kind of acting. Do it for health reasons, not for this. You don't have to move because, wow, that picture from X-Men 1 to Wolverine, holy
and that's
crap.
Let's say like what? That's what, 10 years? It's so
no,
it's
you
like,
can look like that in 10 years though. That's doable. 10 years, that's a long time to go from that to that.
mm-hmm.
That's a very long time. I'm surprised he don't look bigger.
But I think this, like, I don't know if it's this guy, but I know a few people make channels where they be like, look, I think he's on this based on this. And they'll pull up like his older acting movies of his build, let's say when he was like 20 something, and then be like, based on his build, he looks like this. And they play this movie and this is how he looks. And then it'd be like, okay, somebody with this build to work out and gain this much muscle, you have to be in the gym all day, every day and do all this kind of sort of stuff. So it's not what the actors are saying. That I do know. Because they all say the same shit. Chicken, rice, and broccoli or whatever. And cardio and muscle. It's like I think it's some of that, don't get me wrong, but that's just clean eating. But like look at somebody, let's say like The Rock. You ever look at The Rock back in the day?
Yeah.
Look small as shit.
Yeah.
Like, he was a big guy, for his size, but he's still like he was small. And then you look at him like towards when just before he left the WWE and started acting, got big as shit.
He didn't.
Huh?
He actually got a little bit smaller when he left. For the rundown, he wasn't that big.
You were absolutely right about that.
I want to say when he did Scorpion King, that was like around the time when he like was still in WWF.
Yeah, he was still acting.
Yeah, so that was the first.
I think even when he did the rundown, he was still doing it. I think he didn't leave until like Walking Tall or maybe like after that.
Oh, my bad. That's what it was. Yeah, the rundown, Scorpion King, that's still around the same time. In Scorpion King, though, he was actually bigger than he was in the WWF.
Oh, he was?
And he was bigger. And then during Walking Tall, he got a little bit bigger. But at the same time, though, he started working out a hell of a lot more than he used to.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And I used to follow his Instagram a lot. Now, if he was taking something during those workouts, then that's different. But seeing this guy wake up at 4 a.m., like I remember this dude's schedule because I literally tried it for like 2 weeks straight. And it was working, but other aspects of my life started cutting it, like work and shit like that. So I couldn't do it. So 4 a.m. he's waking up and he's going for a run, and then like at 4:45 he's back home drinking like some kind of smoothie or whatever, and then he's working out for like an hour and a half, or 2 hours, and then like he's on set at 5:30 or some shit.
Yeah, he is
like
committed.
it was
I will say that. Yeah,
it was some extreme time. Now during that time, he could be taking supplements or whatever. I think if anyone was that dedicated to work that hard every single day and have your off days, but also take supplements, I think those supplements are actually working the way they're supposed to because they're being used by somebody who will benefit from it.
Yeah. Your workouts and stuff are tailoring to make it better. You know, and it's you're getting the maximum use out of them, so to speak, versus let's say somebody just taking them and not working out to that level. So I'm not saying he got all of his muscle from that, but it's just or from steroids or whatever, but it's just if you look at all the actors and look at how jacked they get, and then if you look at, let's say, gym people who go to the gym every day and look how long it took for them to get jacked or whatever. It's like, oh, how long you been working out? Oh, I've been working out for 10 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever. You don't go from looking like us and then in like 5 years looking like The Rock. Shit just doesn't happen. I mean,
in 5 years?
Well, even in 5 years. I mean, it's gonna take you have to completely change your life, and even then it may not happen because we may not have good genetics.
You know what? I want to disagree. Like I hear what you're saying, right? And I feel like in most cases that is true. Yeah. I would say this. Not everybody's gonna look the same. Not everyone is gonna have the Chris Pratt build versus, the build of like Thor, because they're different body types.
Different people,
Endomorph, exomorph, all that shit.
Yeah, mesomorph. And they say that that's been discredited too, because not everybody's just those three.
Oh yeah, because there could be other ones.
Well, not only other ones, but just that's because I think that study was made, I want to say in the 60s or 70s. That's when they, kind of did that, and it was like, okay, that's what fitness has been using to tell people ever since then. But they was like, most people, they are finding out that you're not one specific type. You're part of one type, part of another one. Like for instance, like I think I'm an endomorph and a mesomorph. Like I'm a big, round, chubbier person, thicker body type, wide shoulders, wide hips and stuff. But I also have the strength of a mesomorph. I'm strong for my size. So it's one of those things where like I'd probably look more muscular if I lost weight. But then again, it's hard for me to lose weight. I'm not like a mesomorph where weight just fucking falls off you and you just look jacked all the fucking time.
Well, I mean, but if you really look at it, it's still the base thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. For me, I'm not a mesomorph. I'm an endo. So I'm the bigger one, and I look more boxier. But there's a way that you can blend that to work out a certain set of muscles, so that way you could get that V shape. You know what I mean? But it won't be like this guy
as well defined as the guy who is built like that. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, that's what bodybuilding does. It's like bodybuilding isn't just about working out; it's about sculpting yourself. It's like, okay, if you want to look like a superhero, you got to have bigger shoulders, so that way this pops out a little bit more, so you can have that V shape. And you got to work out your back, your upper back, so that way that's more defined, so it cuts into your stomach. And if you want to have like a thinner stomach, so that way you could get that true V shape, then you just got to lose weight. That's all that is. But I will say a lot of that stuff, and the only reason I'm kind of going the other route to saying that it's possible for that to happen is my friend, my acting coach, Brian Thornton. When I first met this dude, I don't want to say he was flabby, right? But he was fit enough, and he's like 50 something. He's fit, and I've seen this dude work out to get into another, what do you call it? Another, not category, market, another market. So he's not marketed as like the dad or the middle year old.
So he had to basically become more athletic and more fit to get roles where they would require a fit person. That's what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, we already established that I could be a doctor. I can be a security guard. I can be basically like an engineer, chef, that kind of thing. But I can never be like a superhero unless they make a superhero that looks, fat. You know what I mean?
Fuck that. You know how many fake abs they CG on people in superhero movies?
It's not just about CGing, man. It's like it's you have to have the body for them to CG.
Yeah. Well, not all the time.
Not all the time.
They CG'd abs on Nicolas Cage for Ghost Rider.
I'll say this though, but that was one video. How often do you see Nicolas Cage as a superhero? Not that often.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You have to not necessarily you. Your agent would have to market yourself to get those roles. So if you don't look a particular part, that's the problem that at least I perceive women to have with acting. With them, it's probably even more so. If you don't look pretty or if you don't look a certain way, that's like half of your not budget, but half of the reception that Hollywood would give you. Let's say an actor gets old and then guess what? They're not pretty no more and they don't get parts.
Yeah. But with him, back to it, like he started working out, and I seen him working out like constantly. Every time I would show up, he was like either in the middle of his workout or he was at the end of his workout, and he would work out for like an hour and a half. He was doing this daily for like 2 or 3 months, dog, and then it just became a habit. He would just do it, or his cardio would be him riding on a bike. But he used to do that stuff back in the day where he was a champion mountain biker. So when I got my bike and we would go out to like the park or whatever, he dust my ass. Like he's gone, bro. Like gone. I'm like, there's no way can my bike go that fast? And he's like, yeah. I mean, not that fast because I got like maybe 2 or 3 more speeds on it, but you're not conditioned for that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like I'm getting to the point like I'm so tired. Yeah. So he's like, okay, maintain this speed. I'm gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna finish mine. I'm like, okay.
So you're saying like you became black dude Falcon from MCU.
Yeah.
On your left.
Yes.
Fuck you, Captain America.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what it was. Except for the thing didn't go in a big loop. You had to go and come back. Like he would go, his route was so far that like once he hits the end, he's done because he timed it. It's like a 40-minute about 45-minute trail one way. So he can come back easy, like in no time. So I'm at the point where I'm so damn tired that I see this little dip. I'm like, okay, let me go down this dip and then go up because that's another part of the trail. I go down that dip and I start trying to go up and I'm like, I get.
I guess that dip warm out. Switch up. Now you're back. I was just making fun of you. I was like, that dip did more. Oh, you heard it.
Yeah. So I was so tired I couldn't get back on the bike and pedal up. I had to drag my bike up, and then getting back on the bike hurt. So, but anyway, I've seen this dude work out hardcore, and he's like 50 something. So one day he took his shirt off, like he was changing shirts because we were about to have class, and like he wanted to change the shirt before the class gets there. I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, dog. He had abs. Like when I first seen this dude, he never had abs. This dude had like a 6-pack and was jacked. Like chest is like out to here, arms out to there. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's one of these people that he does not take, like he doesn't really take supplements. He'll maybe take like a protein powder, but he doesn't like filler because he used to do physical nutrition.
Mhm.
So he used to study a lot of that stuff. So clean eating, organic foods and vegetables, meats that are like grass-fed meats. He doesn't take anything that's like a biotic in it or that was
Artificial
injected.
or yeah, I get you.
Nothing.
Completely,
So
or trying to eat as clean eating as best as you can. So yeah.
yeah. So when I saw his transformation and knowing the kind of quality of person that I was dealing with, I wouldn't have doubted that it was like steroid anything, you know. So with actors, if acting is all you're doing, like that's it, that's all you have time for. You might as well, like, if someone said, "Look, we got this role for you. We're going to pay you $100,000, but you got to look like this by, 4 months from now."
Yeah, that's
All
your
right,
job.
so,
So yeah.
oh, yep, I ain't got nothing else to do. Let me go to the gym every fucking day, Or if you got me a physical trainer, that's going to be even better because now I got somebody to push me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not impossible, and I'm not saying it's completely just like, oh, if somebody looks jacked, they're on steroids, but because you can, it's the one bullshit line that fitness people always say when they be like, it's all in here, you just gotta do it. It's like, sounds like it sounds like bullshit, but it's like, if you truly put your mind to something, you can push yourself to 100%. It's just how committed do you want to be? And
you can, but there's plateaus too. Like
exactly,
plateaus are a thing. Genetics are a thing.
yeah,
Like some people's genetics just won't
you
won't
just
be
can't do it.
Yeah.
Like if somebody is a small, wimpy person, you're not gonna look like The Rock. That's just the way it is. I don't care how much you lift, how much you eat. That's just the reality of it. It's just you just have to have the genetics that fit that. Or even if you take steroids, you look like that. It's just genetics is a motherfucker. So
I mean, you can get some muscle on you, but
yeah,
I think
you're not gonna look
think
the way
you
you
can't
want.
be that thick. No.
Yeah. You have to still have your body type, and your frame has to be able to support that.
At least not in any time that anytime soon. Like you have to condition your body, just like martial arts.
Yeah.
You won't be able to punch. Like you can't punch plywood. No, not plywood, but like the wood. Plates. You won't be able to break those day one. You have to do it over time. You have to practice on it so much to where you get calluses and you fracture your knuckles repeatedly until they become hard enough to be able to do it. Like you have to condition your body in order to do the things you want.
Yeah, you have to get the training and the experience in to get the result that you want. You don't just start out with it. If everybody started out getting something, then there would be no need to work out or train or anything. We would just get it. So,
man, have you ever heard about that exercise pill?
I mean, I'm waiting for like some nanotechnology. We could take a pill and I look like The Rock. That's what I'm waiting for in our lifetime. But no, I have not heard of no exercise pill.
So this was a while ago. Like when I say while ago, it's like maybe 12, 13 years plus.
Okay.
I used to watch a lot of Philip DeFranco. And I forgot the company that it was. The company that Philip Franco was with. It was because he's under a network and he has like there's other shows. Was it Philip Franco? It was one of those.
He's the
YouTube news guy.
Yeah, like I'm thinking of two people. I'm thinking of which one was the one with black hair? Was that Ray William Johnson or Philip DeFranco?
That's Ray William Johnson.
Okay. So, all right. So I think I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Philip DeFranco was like, "What's up, you beautiful bastards?" You know, that guy.
Yeah.
So
the guy who I think somebody made a video back in the day, he was crying on video and asking people to send him money to get back home or something.
Was that him? I don't think that was him.
No, that was him. They had him on video, so.
Oh shit. Okay. Well,
you did not know about that? Hold on. Let me pull that up real quick. Looking at old YouTube shit.
it was one of those like news channels. They were basically talking about this pill. I remember it was a chick though. So it could have been somebody else. They mentioned this exercise pill, and I looked it up maybe about 6 months ago.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you cut out for a second.
Oh no, I was like looking at these thumbnails.
Nah, I'm trying to find the exact video that I'm thinking of like 10 plus years ago.
Okay, so the exercise pill. So studies had showed in mice, because that's who they was practicing on first,
Mm.
that they had gave uh, pellets, high fructose like syrup pellets,
Mm.
to different mice, and one mouse could eat as much as he wanted all day, every day. Another mouse could eat whatever he wanted, but also exercise too. So they had put a
Okay.
mouse wheel in there for him to exercise. Another mouse was given so many pellets, but on like a scheduled meal. So they showed that each mouse did gain weight. The mouse that had exercise wheels didn't gain as much weight as the next mouse who didn't have an exercise wheel, but
Mm.
also ate on a scheduled time. The last mouse, well, the first mouse that had a unlimited supply of these pellets, was basically morbidly obese.
Hmm.
It was a fat ass mouse. So then they went to show exercise. They removed the mice from the diets except for the first one. They put the mice on like a regular meal plan
Mm.
with better quality food. Oh wow. I can't believe that's an actual thing.
What?
Oh, Philip DeFranco begging for spare change.
Yeah, yeah. See, 11 years ago. I mean, I don't know if this is the. I think this is the same one.
Today, I just wanted to go ahead and, talk to you about something. This is like the 33rd take. And, I don't know what to say. It's kind of soul-crushing, depressing for me.
All right, hold on right quick. So let me
Before YouTube money.
so the pill
Mm.
had they showed that like on the brain patterns, the mice that exercised had a specific part of their brain light up,
Okay.
and they would start to lose weight over time. And they calculated all this stuff. They made this pill and they gave it to the mouse that was morbidly obese and didn't have him exercise. The pill lit up the exact same receptors in the brain, and the mouse actually started to lose weight. And the benefits of that pill were the exact same benefits of a mouse that was on an exercise wheel.
Okay, so you could just take a pill and have your body just lose weight, or make your body
Like it
think
was
that it's
exercise.
working. Yeah, working out. Okay.
Yeah, without increasing heart rate. It was just like it was just. So I was like, well, where the fuck is this pill at? This was like
I
10,
know.
15 years.
I know, right?
They didn't.
That was gonna be my
So
question.
they didn't go into human trials
Pussies.
because the mouse,
Did he die?
after 2 months, had numerous tumors everywhere.
Damn.
Yes.
But he looked good though.
Internal organs was just like filled with tumors, and like his body was filled with tumors. It was like 20, 23, 32 tumors in his damn mouse.
Damn.
So you can see why they didn't go to human trial.
Yeah.
It's like that would have killed people.
They could have solved that problem.
I mean,
but yeah.
It's not like they didn't stop. They didn't stop working on it. Well, I mean, they probably did now because of COVID, but you know, it was a thing at one point. It's like, shit, the magic pill actually exists. It just so happens to give you tumors.
Yeah. I mean, I wish, I know science is going to get there eventually. You know, it's going to be like they have in science fiction and in, book medias and stuff where we could just take a pill and it's either going to get that route or we're just going to be able to start tweaking our genetics to look however we want to look. And that's going to bring a whole new set of problems, because then it's like, if everybody has a zero fat percentage and everybody looks skinny, then being fat is going to be the pretty, because that's going to be outside of the norm. Once you make things the norm, it becomes, over time, it's like people won't enjoy it as much. So I don't know. It's going to be a whole lot more psychological issues and stuff that people are going to have years later down the road once all that stuff kicks in.
Like what?
Or for instance, if you had the ability to have kids, well, you have the you have the ability to have kids, but let's
Yeah,
say
I was about
like
to say, do you know something that I don't?
if let's say you have kids,
Mm.
and you can genetically alter your kids before they're born, you tell your kid, oh, I want my kid to have blue eyes, I want him to have wide shoulders, I want him to have a 10-inch penis, I want him to be muscular, I want him to be this and this and that and that. Where do you draw the line? Because now that's going to bring in, what about all the racist shit? Like, oh, I want my kid to be a pure blood Caucasian. I want him to have blue eyes, blonde hair. That's like genetic engineering at that point. And all
Yeah.
of the flaws of the people who are telling what the kid looked like, they're going to put all of their mental baggage and stuff on them. And then the kids are going to be all messed up because of it. Because now it's like, I can't even choose the way I want to look,
I
you know?
mean, you can't choose the way you want to look now anyway.
Well, that's the point, but it's mostly nature that's determining that. But that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. You know, it's what I mean. Not choose the way I want to look. It's like not necessarily that, but it's like you're not giving the child the chance to look the way he's supposed to look. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So yeah, the parents are telling the kid how you want to look. You know, they're gonna do that anyway. Look at parents now. Oh, dress this way. You can't hang out with this person. So the kids get angsty with that bullshit. So imagine if like, oh, I tell my kid like he gonna look like the perfect white kid or the perfect black kid or the perfect Asian kid. They want to go the opposite way. They don't want to look. You know, what if they don't want to look like that? They're stuck looking like that. It'll be the same way. I guess you have issues with people now with, let's say like transgendered people, where it's like in one way they think they're women, but they have the body of a man or whatever. You're gonna run into a lot of that mentality issues and stuff with that too. You know?
See, I think that if my mom had chose to make me look a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
and I was here, I wouldn't. For me, I guess with my personality the way it is now, as even as a kid, all right, it's like, well, shit, you
Oh
chose
yeah,
me to look like this. I'm here now. It's like I can't change it. I'd probably be upset on certain things, like if people didn't accept me or something like that, and it was like, well, what would I look? I don't know what I would look like before. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like, what am I missing?
Yeah,
But
it would be one of those things where it's like you wouldn't know any different,
yeah,
but if you decided to look into it or whatever, you may feel some type of way because of it. It will cause a whole lot of more psychological issues because it's one of those things where now if somebody looks a certain way, let's say you could choose how you want to look, you could lose weight, you can gain muscle, you could do all that stuff. But when it comes to, let's say, like how you look in your face or how you look, or just in general, how you look based on your genetics, it's a roll of the dice right now. So if you just had a pill that you can take, or when your mom is pregnant, they could just stick something in you to be like, okay, you're gonna look exactly like this. Then what about all those? How many people you know in life look like somebody else because they think it look cool? So now so now you're gonna have a bunch of clones out there who look just like you based on because they are enamored with, let's say, like a famous actor looks a certain way.
mm-hmm.
Now you're gonna make your kid look exactly like that famous actor because you're a fan of him or whatever. You know,
Mm.
it's people will do all of that stuff. All the flaws and the facets of the human psyche would come out, and the world will be even more messed up place for it.
Yeah, you talking about genetic, like DNA altering. You can
Mm-hmm.
actually do that now, though. I've seen
Yeah, we could do
people do
some of it,
that
but
with
not
animals.
not to that degree. Yeah. We made glow in the dark cats and shit. Like science has gotten some really cool shit done in the
Yeah.
past 20 years.
Wait, glow in the dark cats?
Yeah, they like I forget how they did it, but it was like Japan, Korea, one of the Southeast Asian countries. They made glow in the dark cats. Like they made, like with the skin of like something that bioluminescence and lights up in the dark.
Oh
They
shit!
they, they basically put that in the cats, and the cats are normal, but they just glow in the dark. Cool as shit.
Sleeping. Glow in the dark rabbits created by scientists with jellyfish DNA. Yo, bro.
Glow in the dark kitty cats. Now tell me if somebody made that. You know, there's somebody that would be like,
wait.
I want to make a glow in the dark person.
Go back.
Go back to what?
Go to the that one to the right. On the right. The rabbits. Turn it up.
Born earlier this month at the University of Istanbul. The Turkish researchers used an active transgenesis technique developed by medical researchers at the University of Hawaii in Manoa. Under regular light, the rabbits look white just like their siblings, but when it's dark, the pair glow in a vivid shade of green. During their embryonic phase, all 8 rabbits were injected with a fluorescent protein from jellyfish DNA. The embryos were then placed back into the mother rabbit, and when the litter was born, 2 of the babies carried the glowing gene. While the pair were not the first glow-in-the-dark bunnies produced in a lab, they were the first using this technique. The researchers say this could lead to efficient ways to produce medicines for humans.
It's so they're so bright. Oh, also the string stop. They're so bright. How in the hell are they like sleeping?
You said the stream stopped?
Yeah. Didn't it stop?
According to OBS, it's still going. Maybe Twitch is.
Oh, okay. Never mind. It was on my end. I had to refresh it.
Oh.
Like, golly, that was crazy. Like, how does the rabbit sleep? Because it itself is so bright. I would imagine it would be hard to pass out.
Maybe, I don't know. It all depends. I'm sure somebody who's a scientist could probably explain why they go to sleep. I mean, it could just be maybe they just get so tired and they just go to sleep because their body's making them pass out. But.
Or they could be used to it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're used to something since birth, then, you know, that's just the way it is.
Dang.
But that's cool. Like, they made that, or, like, there's tons of weird, quirky genetic stuff that science has been doing in the past 20 years. And we're learning a lot as a species. But it's like, whenever they try to bring that to humans, that's where it's like, oh, no, human rights, you know, that's where the religion ball plays, and they don't let science do too much, and you know it's a fight back and forth. You know, that same fight has been going on all throughout human history, but it's cool. You know, I wouldn't mind glowing in the dark. Like, you know, I'm waiting for superpowers. That's what I'm waiting for. Give me genetic altering superpowers.
All right. I mean, I'll take the Captain American serum, but
I mean, there was a comic book like that. It was an indie comic book. I doubt if they still run it, but somebody made a comic book where basically they took black people and basically, let's say, like, take like mutants, for example, like for X-Men, make it only for black people. So only we had superpowers, and then make us ghetto and throw in police brutality and all that shit. But we had superpowers and the rest of the world didn't.
How did that work?
It was a cool concept. I mean, that was the whole point. It was one of those.
But they said throw in police brutality. Why do you have police brutality and you're doing that?
The whole point of the comic book. I only read like the first 2 issues, but the point of the comic book was, it was basically telling the black story of like police, racism, and all that. But just we had superpowers. Like one day you might wake up, your mutant gene kicks in, and you have fucking super strength. Now, being a black person being oppressed, what do you use that strength for?
To beat ass?
Some people probably did. I forget what the comic book was called, but I mean, I'm sure I could probably find it. But matter of fact, let me look. I mean, we talking about it. Why not? Let's see.
I probably wouldn't know.
Probably misspelling this all.
I don't know if anything would be different.
There you go. There you go, black. It's like, in a world that already hates and fears them, what if only black people had superpowers? After miraculously surviving being gunned down by police, a young man learns that he is part of the biggest lie in history. Now he must decide whether it's safer to keep it a secret or if the truth will set him free.
Nah, you can't. Because then you not only are you going to be oppressed? But now you're a lab rat.
Yeah. And that's kind of what it's about. You know, it's one of those things where that's the premise, and then it's like how many ways can it go bad? So
The sequel to the acclaimed series, White.
puts a racist white president in a world where only black people have superpowers. So now,
Oh, hey,
so now
2020.
there's a reason why you just like, oh, we have to suppress these black people, you know. So cool comic. I was like, you know, but not to talk too much about that because you know Twitch got rules and all that stuff. So
Oh yeah, we
well,
can't be race baiting. Don't do that.
yeah, we're not baiting nothing. It's just you know talking about different stuff. So
Shit that we usually talk about anyway.
yeah. But what else you want to talk about, man? Throw some other topics our way.
I don't know. We could talk about
What
talk
do-
about
what do you-
Keemstar and Pokemon. Nah, I'm just kidding. Give
What do
a
you
fuck
think about
shit.
Twitch's dumb rules changing
Scientists
and all that
What
stuff?
what dumb rule changing?
Like all the hold on. All of the different whatchamacallit, the rules that they made, like they have a council of people that's gonna not monetize but manage channels to make sure people are keeping up with like the rules.
They don't
and
have that
regulations.
anymore.
They don't?
They tore it down because the people that they chose got in so much fucking drama.
So it was just a bad
Like,
idea. Like, come on.
When I saw that, I already knew that was going to be stupid when they first started it, because one of the guys, I mean that term loosely. One of the people was, I think, a trans person,
Mm-hmm.
but they identified as a fucking deer.
A deer?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they identified as a deer. Their girlfriend would scratch them behind the ear, and they would do this shit and like be in it, and would go outside and eat grass and be deer-like.
People, that's what you into. Then you know, what did that
Now,
have to do with her Twitch thing? Did a lot of people attack her or attack them because of that?
no, like they have a following, right? It's just that person was over like the inclusivity of Twitch.
Mm.
So, but they basically was, I want to say they had admitted to saying that they were going to go out there and get at people. Like if you weren't for them, you were completely against them, you know, and they would find a way to get your channel taken down, that kind of shit. Like blatantly saying these things in stream. It's like, the fuck are you doing? One, if you're gonna do it, I tell everybody, look, do not do the evil genius thing. Don't tell people your fucking story and your plan. Just do it, right? Just do it. You're not a Bond villain. You're not gonna sit there, Mr. Bond. Let me tell you how I'm gonna ruin your life. Since obviously you're trapped right now, there's no possible way of escape. Let me go ahead and tell you what's going on. Excuse me one moment while I turn my back and pick up my cat for a second. You know, and then they fucking sit there and they tell them exactly that laser is gonna strike down and it's gonna start going inch by inch towards your pelvic region until it cuts you in half. You have approximately about 20 minutes before it starts turning on because it still has to energize. Like it's
like just shoot him.
just shoot him. Just go up and get rid of him. First off, why is it starting off of the board that he's laying on? Why don't you start it at his head? You don't like if I was
he's gone.
You know what I mean? If I'm an evil villain, it's like, I'm not waiting, dude. I'm not waiting. I would have you trap him like, haha, I finally got your ass. Bink. You know, like, that'll be it. That'll be it. You got to get yourself another Bond character because he's done. If you get caught, that is it. That's what they did. They said what they were going to do before, like, literally a week after it was implemented. They said what they were going to do. It's like,
stupid,
what the fuck is wrong with you? Just go do it if you hate people that much.
Yeah.
You know, that specific group of people. Just don't do it, you know? just don't say it. And then everyone else was like pretty much the exact same way. They got so many different people to do different things on this board, and it was like, you just got yourself a motley crew of the most randomest fucking people ever that have different personalities and say this is what represents Twitch. No, it's not.
Well,
this doesn't
well,
the
you know what that
audience.
is? That's like a plan by committee. That's somebody. It's the same plan that, let's say, like Hollywood would use. They probably have a board of people who make all the decisions, and they'd be like, well, what kind of group can we have regulate everybody else? Okay, let's have one gay person, one trans person. That's like they plan the whole shit out, and you know, it just
that's exactly
life
what
don't work that way.
You want to have a representative for each kind of person, but there's too many of those kinds of people. Also, it's not about just getting a representative of each person.
Yeah.
They have to be of sound body and sound mind. You know what I mean? If they're not, if they are only think a certain way and will never see the other side,
they're fanatics
they will
at that
never.
point.
Yeah, they're just fanatics. Like, they have to be objective. They have to be reasonable enough to say, okay, I understand why you're doing this, but this is the rules and regulations that Twitch has right now. And it's not about any personal vendetta. You know, you can't get someone who's a hardcore feminist and expect them to be for equal rights when all they care about is feminism. That's it. It's like, that's fucking stupid. No, you get somebody that is like, look, I just want the community at large to be excellent and great, and that's all I care about. If you're cursing or downplaying somebody or talking shit about another content creator, and that's all you're doing is just trying to get yourself ahead by stepping on somebody else or making somebody else's life miserable, then you don't need to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Freedom of speech is one thing, but tearing somebody else down for your benefit is something else.
Yeah.
Have freedom of speech and be able to talk about whatever you want to, but as soon as you bring somebody else's name in it, that's where you cross the line. They don't need to be in your conversation.
Yeah.
That's why I really don't see a need of like bringing up like Pokimane and like all that other shit. Now, I will admit that we did that on our YouTube page with Sky Williams. I was like,
with the video right here, this one.
Yeah, it was like, that. It was so, to me, that was so strange to hear that.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy crap, what kind of person are you? At the same time, though, I gotta say, we was kind of tearing the dude down.
No, I mean, it's
over the decisions that he chose to make.
I can't say we weren't tearing him down. Well, I was judging the hell out of him because he sounds like he's one of those people who was a control freak. And I'm just giving. I mean, I was just giving my opinion on the situation based on all the evidence that came out. I mean, we said it many times in the video that we don't know the guy. We don't know nothing really about him. He may not be this way, but based on this evidence,
maybe not tearing him down as a human, but like judging hard the choices that he made that affect others.
Yeah.
I don't see that. Like, I don't see it like that in this arena. Sometimes like it's a thin line between judging somebody for what they're doing and just judging somebody in general just because you don't like that person.
Yeah. It's especially when you're dealing with online, and maybe I'm different, maybe I'm weird, but I know I'm not like the average person on the internet. I treat my internet life the same way I treat people in my regular life. You know, I act the same way on and off camera. I know that's not most people on the internet. But it's like, I can understand you setting things up. Your brand is a business. Your online persona, your online life, that's what makes you money. That's what provides your livelihood. I can understand doing things to favor that because that's your livelihood. It is what it is. But when you step on somebody else, or like those YouTube channels back in the day where a lot of people would just make hate channels, where they would try to, your sole dedication with the channel is to see how much hate drama you can generate, or trying to catch a bigger YouTuber to exactly prime example. Or you're trying to catch a big YouTuber in some dirt or something. See Keemstar, I would say, just because you mentioned him. He looks for the dirt. He's one of those people I would call shady. Well, not shady. I'm sorry, slimy.
Shady.
He like slimy. He's like
Slimy.
he's not the person that's gonna generate the hate, but he's
Yeah.
gonna be the guy that's looking for it. Yeah, he's like that reporter who's like, I'm not gonna create the story, but if that news, but I'm gonna be the guy to first put, I'm gonna be the first guy to put it out. So he's that slimy guy that's gonna start the drama to be the blow it up so that he can get.
He's
the
not
views
going
and
to
stuff
generate
from
it, man. You
Yeah,
didn't
he's-
look into like a few years ago with that Minecraft
Basher, whatever
Basher
guys, yeah.
Basherverse. A lot of that stuff was really generated by Keemstar,
Yeah,
but
it
it was
I mean, since it's and when I heard a lot of that stuff, it doesn't surprise me. I used to watch
at
Keemstar
the same
before
time
he had.
that shit was true. Like some of like the majority of it was true, and then when I had found out that they were in on it together on certain things where they had turned buddy buddy, and it was like, hey, look, their reactions were staged and everything, and it was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
That's
Now
what
it's just like it's a tabloid thing.
It's YouTube becoming the WWE. That's exactly what it was. A lot of channels would do that back in the day. Like a lot of COD people would do that. They would act mad at one channel, and then the other channel would make a reaction video to it. It'd be like a little back and forth, just to cause drama in the communities to get more views. Like if you like I was a fan of Keemstar before he even had Drama Alert, before like 8 years before Drama Alert was a thing. Like he used to make Halo videos, and his clan was called the FAG.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So like I was a fan of his before he got big using Drama Alert. That's when his popularity fell off and he had to come back, and then that's when he made Drama Alert. But like, yeah, he's one of those kind of people where if you play a game with him, or like if you play a game with a clan of people, he's that guy that's I'm gonna be the guy that starts shit with the other people on the mic. He seems like he's that kind of person if you ever see him in that kind of environment. So it's like he's that slimy type person. So that's what I mean when I say that. So it's like, but I even.
So he was even doing that before Drama Alert was a thing.
Yeah, that's just the kind of person he is.
Got you.
That's why I'm not surprised in all the dirt he gets into. I'm not surprised.
Golly.
But damn, I'm showing my age with that. I remember watching those FAG videos like coming into the before 2010. Like I didn't even.
I don't see any of that.
Like I remember. Hold on, let me go back to the search bar real quick. I remember watching one. Hold on. Here we go. Let me see. Just want to see if they're still up. FAG. I remember this one. That's probably not gonna pull it up. I'm typing FAG Party Xbox on YouTube. So that's gonna pull up all the negativity of the old school Xbox Halo days.
Video, you pull it out, you look right at it, and you punch it right in its dead center. You love being your cock to the one and only DJ Game Score. Free John, man, free John. It's gonna be a good night.
But he was that guy to just talk shit about people just to get a reaction because he was recording it.
Haters of DJ Keemstar.
That's him.
People who love me, people who want me to die. Thank you so much for all the attention!
That's why he sounds young as shit, because it's like 10, 15 years ago.
Good night. Yo, today I saw people's pussy hole. Tonight, me and Twitch made a classic video. Tonight, I seen a DJ Keemstar look-alike, and tonight, I added Epic Panda on my friends list!
You know what?
Tonight's gonna be a good night! That tonight's gonna be a good night! That fucking nuts is a faggot homo!
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised.
Dog.
Old school Xbox.
That makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. But like, I remember one party video that he did. It was just so funny. Let's see, maybe it's in here.
like your vids. I don't care! You think I give a shit? I'm about to put my dick right up in your crap. Give me the fucking party leader. Break your fucking neck. Give me the fucking party leader. Wally, give me that fucking party leader now. Get the fuck out of that party right now and give me the leader. Wally, what the fuck are you doing?
But that's what like him and his, or like I'm assuming they were all friends back in the day. See, that's over 10 years ago.
Bruh. That's crazy.
But yeah, if you watched a lot of that older stuff, it's no surprise of how he's that kind of person. He has to be around some drama shit. That's just the way he is.
I take it all back. That makes total sense. Damn.
Ah, that makes me miss Xbox though. Just seeing that. It's like modern video game, and it's not that. Like, why can't we talk shit no more? Everything has to be PC. You know.
Well, you can talk shit. You just get banned.
Yeah, like I mean, like I was never that guy. You know, like I've never had ego issues. Like I was never that guy to talk shit. But if somebody would talk shit to me, I'd talk shit back and then whoop their ass in whatever game we was playing. That's when you had skill to determine, like, you know, like, oh, all right, let's play 1v1 me on fucking Guardian. Let's go. You know? Talk shit. Whoever wins get to talk shit. Or just
I only talk shit on games that I know I win in. Everything else, like, I ain't talking shit because I know I ain't gonna win. I know I'm not. Like, if like somebody's like square up in Tekken, I'm like, no.
I don't have that game.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Here it is right here. I'll give you the controller. Slap that shit out the hand. Like, no, I don't know. I'm not playing Tekken. Now, if you say Burnout, you know what I'm saying? Some kind of racing game, I'm gonna dust that ass. Like, I'm gonna dust that ass. I am the king of racing games. I'll cheat my ass off in racing games too. Man, I remember it was me and my homeboy at the time. Ooh, this is a long time ago. It's like 10 plus years. We were going to Walmart, and in the Walmart parking lot, NASCAR had showed up, and they had this giant ass trailer with consoles in it. They were like actual racing consoles inside the trailer, and you were basically in NASCAR at that point. You would get into your seat and drive, and it would like rumble and everything and move and tilt and all that stuff. And you was basically doing a NASCAR lap. Boy, if I tell you I came in first place or second place every single time, I was cutting through the grass and everything. Cheating my ass off.
Was you playing like Daytona USA?
It was like the regular NASCAR, just NASCAR. And when you're driving, apparently there's like a part on the road where it's right before you get to the grass. There's that warning strip that like lets you know where the grass is. That's slick. It's not, it's not like hard or like tech. I think it may be textured now, but I remember that the warning was supposed to be like, that's a slick thing. So when you get on it, you'll skid. That's why people don't cut like inside. They cut either outside or they'll do an inside cut if they have space to get in there. I was like, fuck all that, man. I was like both my left wheels will be on the grass and just excuse me, and I'd be bumping people. They're like, hey, no bumping. Like literally the officials would be like, no bumping. I'm like, nigga, it's a video game. What the fuck? Like,
are they trying to play it with like official rules?
Yeah, I'm trying to flip this bitch. I'm like, man, that's what NASCAR is about. NASCAR is about giant, like cars with giant engines and 10 car pileups. If you're not seeing a 10 car pileup, it ain't NASCAR. I'm
with you 100% because like I'm not into racing, don't watch it at all. But it sounds like because I remember we was I think we was looking at Gran Turismo one time. But Gran Turismo was made by people who was like no bumping because it's like you play the game, it's like, oh, you don't crash into other cars and stuff. But like me, when I play racing, I'm sorry, Days of Thunder fucking ruined my vision of NASCAR. Like every time I play a game, it's like I think it's like Days of Thunder. I'm supposed to go really fast, try to win the race by crashing into other cars or moving them out the way. And it's like that's what I'm supposed to do.
Because the idea is oh, I don't crash my car because I don't want to end up, in the hospital. It's like, no. You don't want it bad enough. That's what it is. That's the problem is you don't want it like I want it. You know what I mean? I'm that kind of person that's like that drag racing. I forgot the drag racing TV show that came on cable a while ago. It's like they would drag race. I remember one of the dudes, his name was Kamikaze. It's like that was his name. And it made so much sense because at this night they had a drag race against like another county. So they came on this dirt road. And Kamikaze, like, man, when I tell you, like, he didn't give a like this white dude did not give a fuck, dog. Like, even while he's looking, he's like, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win this race. And then that was it. Like there was nothing else. Like the camera would still be on him. They'll cut to the other dude. He was like, yeah, and they'll be talking, blah blah blah. And they cut back to him. And he's just like, he's still standing there.
Like crazy,
he's just ready.
serious for no reason. Yeah,
He's ready. He's ready. They get in the car and they burn out. Man, when I tell you, like he burned out so hard, like his car skidded. Like the whole thing just like moved to the right. And while they were going down the lane, it moved over like so hard to where it almost hit the other dude. The other dude slowed down and he kept on going. It's like the dude does not give a fuck. Like he wants it that bad. He told him, I'm winning. No ifs, ands, or buts. He didn't care if he would have ran ass first into the other dude. Like he didn't give a shit. And the other dude was like, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't. Did you see what happened? I couldn't do it. Like that dude was crazy.
Need to change that man's name to Charlie Sheen. He was like, I'm winning.
Yeah. Hashtag winning. Like that's how I am. Like when I'm playing a racing game, look, if I can crash into you and make you slow down, make you flip, make you rage quit, I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna do it. That's what the game is for. I want it that bad. And even in games that don't like, if a really good racing game doesn't have crashing, they at least have drift. Not drift. Is it drafting? Drafting.
For what?
Yeah, I think it's drafting. It's where you go behind another car because of the wind resistance.
Oh, and use the wind drag to circle around them.
Yeah, well, it's not. You don't have any drag because you're getting right behind them, so they're cutting through the air, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
So it gives your engine a little bit more power because there's no resistance, and once it gets up there, you can actually just go around them.
Yeah.
Because
they have that mechanic in racing games. They even have it in GTA.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, that's gonna be my thing. Is like we need to, if you feel that way about racing, we need to play some GTA racing one day.
Might as well. Yeah, but yeah, that's how I feel. If a game has that mechanic in it, I'm still like, oh, I can't bump you, cool. Like I will find out every little mechanic I can in the racing game just to do it. Like Mario Kart, same thing. Those time trials and shit. If there's a way to beat your time, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it, bro. Like it may take me a minute, but that's just how I am in racing games. I love racing games. Some people love sports, fighting. Thing is racing.
Yeah, I get you. It's never been one of my things. Like I play them if I'm playing with other people, but I know I'm not big into racing like that. Now you put me in a shooter game or fighting games or a heavy story driven game, I'm all in that. But yeah, we need to do some racing games. I mean, if you feel that way, we need to do some of that.
I mean, all right, like get dusted, man. I don't want to end the friendship.
We'll see. You won't end it. I mean, just don't get mad don't get mad when I beat you. That's just
because look, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, dog. When we played, what was that game? What was that fucking game that we played? They had made a remake of it on Xbox.
That's a lot of games.
No, it was that fighting game. Real old school fighting game. Because you had showed me the original game, and you still remember the combo from back in the day. Killer Instinct, nigga. When I say that made me so mad, I was like almost hung up on your ass. Nigga, you'd heard you'd heard Skype hang up real quick, like because it made me so mad. It was like, oh, hold on, let me see if I remember it. And then all of a sudden, like, and he just like combo, like just jug. I'm like, You remember that? You know that meme of that white dude like that's his face just like yeah, that's how it was. Like, nigga, did you just I told you I never played this game. I don't even know if there's a jump button, dog. I don't even know how to block. How do you block? Just press back. It didn't work. It didn't work. I couldn't block any 32 hit combo. What the fuck? Like, what kind of cheap ass? Why would you remake this? Why would you remake this? This is so cheap.
Because it's fucking awesome. That's why.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I got tears in my eyes just thinking about that shit, like that ass whooping. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. I'll never play this again.
Yeah, that's a side of gaming that I see. It's like it's still there, but it's not how it used to be. Like even just playing with friends, being in the same rooms, playing video games and stuff with them. It's like well, I don't know. Maybe it's because we're fucking adults and we don't have time like that anymore. It could be that too.
Jaded, bro. That's all that is.
Yeah.
Because you remember as kids, we used to wish that we had the ability to be able to play with your friend down the street at night.
Yeah.
Without having to be like in the same room with them.
Yeah.
Or play with somebody who moved halfway across country. Like now that we have that, it's like, oh, I miss the old school days where we could sit on the couch and play together. It's like, just make enough money to do that. Like that's all you do. You get all your friends, you go get a house, and you be able to play together.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you may have enough money to do that, but then you have lives, relationships, kids, families, all of that, plays into somebody's time, and they may not have the time to sit down and play video games at all, period. But
play video games with your kids at that point.
I know I will. I'd shoot all my nieces. They get that work.
Yep.
Like my oldest niece can probably like me and my brother, we trained her. She will get with a boy and like bust his ass in some video games. Just because she watched I remember playing God of War. What was the God of War? What was it? God of War 3? Where you had you had to climb up something and then you fought which God of War where you were riding on the back of Gaia and then you had to climb up and you fought
that was 3.
Poseidon, I think.
Yeah, that was 3.
I remember getting to like Poseidon at that part, like the beginning of the game, and like she had to be like what 4, 5, and I'm playing the game. I'm not playing it seriously because she's in my lap watching me play it. Like I was playing God of War 3.
I know with who?
My oldest niece.
Oh, okay.
And she had to be let's say at the time 5, 6, 7, somewhere around in there. And she was in my lap watching me play it, right? And I'm playing the game and I'm not taking the game super seriously. So I get to Poseidon, I die. He does some kind of move and I die. And, she's like, oh no.
Oh.
And then I'm like, whatever. I started again and I die again, right? And she's like, oh no. I'm like, you don't gotta say it every time. And then I die again. And she's like, Uncle Danny, you need to do this. I'm like, you don't shut the fuck up. But I can't say that, right?
She's like, but was she real though? Like, was she
she was telling me how to play the game. I'm like, I don't need you to tell me how to play video games.
Let me ask you though, was what she was saying spot on though?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, she was like, you need to press this button and this button, to do combos.
Did she know?
Yeah, because she watches me and my brother play video games with each other and stuff like that. So yeah.
No, I mean, but did she know a legit combo?
Yeah, like some of the not the really long ones, but yeah, like a couple of the shorter ones. But she was telling me in in her language, in her words, like, oh, you in order to beat this guy, you have to do this. And it was just like,
so your ass got schooled by a little girl. I bet when she went out the room, you did exactly what she told you to do.
I put down the controller. I was like, here, if you know how to play, you play. I handed it to her and I left.
Tell me that she beat him.
Oh, I have no idea. I gave her the controller and she took it and started mashing buttons. I left out the room, went to my brother and be like, man, the hell with your daughter. And then when I told him what happened, he just laughed. And we both just had a good laugh out of it.
I'd have find that shit to be adorable. Like, I like kids who are young. Like
Yeah.
when they're young and they're like that, I'm like, oh no, man, I know we gonna get them this time.
Yeah,
Like
that's half
I
the
swear.
that's half the fun. Like my mom when she was alive, like she would like she was a tomboy coming up. So like we got beat the hell up as kids. Like playful punches, arm punches and stuff like that. My mom would always do that, but if it was a tom girl that she was doing that, yeah, they would get that work too. So so whenever like both like I don't have kids myself, but my brothers, they have nieces and I have like one nephew. So when I'm with them, it's the same way. Like I will roughhouse with them, smack them with pillows, play fight with them, you know, talk shit to them, but not in the adult way of talking shit to them. You know, just having tons of fun with kids is fun. It's because then once people grow up and get attitudes and, you know, they hit that teenage phase of like, oh, I don't have to listen to you, or getting in that, you know, she's in that phase now where she's like 12, 13, 14, something like that.
Oh yeah.
So she's in that phase of like, she thinks she knows shit, you know, or like thinks she know all of that, you know, and all that shit. And it's like, oh, well, yeah. Like,
You
you
can
don't
get
know
the fuck
shit.
out.
Yeah, like you don't know shit. Like, come on, you know. But it's just like then, like as an adult looking at all of that shit, it's, you know, kind of, if you had a good upbringing for the most part, you know why kids do certain things because you've either experienced it or you can read the signs. Kids aren't hard to read. You know when they lie. You know when they into shit. You know. I remember writing a paper in English class in high school one time. And my teacher tried to convince me I'm wrong. I was like, the paper was about like why young kids are like animals, like dogs and cats. And she was like, oh, you're wrong about this. I was like, how am I wrong? You know, animals do the same shit that kids do. Like if I yell at my dog, he's going to do this, not look at me, and just like try to look away, avoid my gaze, and try to sneak away from me yelling at him. And like kids do the same shit. They do something wrong, you yell at them, they act the same way, they get into trouble, they when they want to play around, they're too playful because they don't know when to not be playful. It's the same, you know, the same kind of mannerisms to a certain extent. Kids are probably smarter, but there are some smart dogs out there and there are some dumb dogs out there. So same difference.
I gotta agree with that shit. I've seen some really dumb fucking dogs. Just I look at dogs like, and he's just staring back at me with the most lopsided look on his face. I'm like, is this dog okay? You know, he just always looks like that all the time. It's not just me. He's like, no, he just always looks like that. Is he slow? It's like, man, this dog looks really stupid right now.
But yeah, it's just like, I think at a certain age or a certain intelligence level, maybe it's because probably we're animals. You know, people like to think that we're better, we're different, we're people, we're different, we're better than animals. Like, no, we're animals just the same, just a different kind. You know, you take away one facet of our society and, you know, it'll all go back to us killing each other. Hell, it goes back to us killing each other without having to do that. So,
yep.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But maybe that's why we're so similar to how young animals act.
Yo.
Well,
guess who just popped up on my timeline on YouTube?
What's up? Who?
The Black Hokage.
Wait. What was his older name?
Modern War Negro.
Yeah, that's what it was. Well, you're still subbed to him?
No. He just popped up on my timeline because of Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, YouTube is pushing his content.
Yeah. He looks hella different too. Or maybe I just never saw his face before.
Well, he was I want to say he wasn't like a too chubby black guy, but he had like a chubby face.
Yeah. Yeah, he just I don't know, dog. Like I'm actually surprised.
What, I mean, still doing YouTube or?
Well, not just that, but like I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't hit 1 million yet.
No.
Or maybe he did and something just happened, but like he's been doing this for a minute.
Yeah, he's been the Hokage thing for like a good probably few years now.
Bro,
Ever since
everything
he
is
wanted
different.
to drop the whole Negro thing.
Everything is different, man. Like he put his face on almost every thumbnail. Good job, man.
Maybe he trying to
Good
step his
job.
game up, you know, be like those other channels that's like 1 million plus.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look at this thing. Like everyone's talking about this. Joe Rogan.
The video game thing that he
Yeah.
said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
everybody's kind of taking his words out of context, but yeah.
who gives a fuck? Like Joe Rogan even said that he plays video games.
Yeah, Joe Rogan is like, no, like he not only plays them, he's one of those hardcore gamers. Like
Yeah.
he even said it in that clip that like, oh, I'm somebody who like I can't play video games all the time because he's that person that'll play games and that's all he will play for like a good month or something. Like I think somebody mentioned, I don't know if it was a comment or something, but he was like, when Quake was a thing back in the day, he had a T1 internet connection in his house, paying $10,000 a month just to play online with the best connection.
Damn.
So yeah, that's the
10,000 a month.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true, but that's what people were saying. So like that's the kind of, you know, if it's true, that's the kind of gamer he is. So it's like, yeah, it's like I get what they were trying to say in that because I think I watched a couple minutes of that, but it's just that people are taking it out of context. They were saying that if you play video games, you're not making nothing of yourself, you're not getting nothing out of it, and they were saying that, but they were saying it from like the older perspective. Like if you just sit home and play games, you can get something out of it, but they're thinking getting something out of it, meaning, oh, I'm bettering myself, I'm working at
No,
something
he
to
meant
start a
that.
career. Oh,
When you watch the whole thing, that's what he meant.
Okay.
Maybe, so he compared playing video games. He compared it with martial arts. He's like, it's not a skill. He said with martial arts, you practice so long. After 10 years, you can open up your own dojo. You can do this, you can do that, instead of just playing video games all the time. It's like, well, when he said that, he's like talking about opening up his own dojo, making money off of that, having students, things like that. It's like, well, what's the difference of playing a video game and someone who's doing martial arts but never opens up a dojo?
Yeah.
Studying martial arts for 10 plus years, giving yourself a black belt doesn't mean that when you open up your dojo, you're going to have 50 people show up and want to sign up that day. There's so many dojos out there. And just because you learn a certain style doesn't mean that that's going to be right for anybody else that's out there.
Hell no. They run into the same problem. They're like YouTube channels. If you think of dojos like YouTube channels, because dojos and boxing gyms, that was the thing when we were coming up. That was it. It's like if you're the new guy on the block, you have to put yourself out there. You have to promote. You have to advertise. You have to do all of this, stir up drama or something to get your name in the news. You have to, you have to do that in order to get people to know you exist as a business. Same way for like a YouTube channel or a Twitch person.
Also, why is martial arts considered an essential skill? It's not. No. Like you don't need to know martial arts to defend yourself. It's great that you would, that you should, but it does teach other things like values, things like that. But at the same time, it doesn't teach you to survive. It's not something where you like hunting, gathering, gardening, AC, electrical work. Like it's like those are practical skills that will always be needed. Tradesmanship, leather making, wood making, like creation. You need those kind of things in society if everything else falls back. Yeah. But you can say that about anything. Yeah. I've seen a chick right now on Instagram. She paints jars. Like, mason jars. She paints them different characters. That's it. That's all she does. That's it. And she sells them and she makes money. I remember she made like a boo jar, like a fat boo jar. Like she's made different, like any kind of different custom jars you can make. I didn't even know that was a thing, is to create or paint jars and sell those as like little craft projects. I mean, what's the difference between that and finding a way to make money doing gaming? Now, if you're just gaming and that's all you're doing and you have no aspirations to do anything else, then that would be a problem because what are you doing over time?
Well, I mean, I think it's anything else. Like, judging from what I took out of what he said, it's like, okay, you're not getting anything from it. You're not improving physically. You're not not promoting, but you're not progressing in like a career field or whatever you want to do for a living or whatever. It's just you're just playing games and having fun, and that's it. You know, you're not gaining anything out of it, you know, that way. But as somebody who played games all of his life, I can tell you that it's, yeah, you may not be gaining experience like with martial arts. I'm learning how to do the said martial art. So that's what you're getting, if anything.
Man,
you're not gaining anything from video games like that, but people fail to realize, and I'm kind of mad that him or the other guy didn't bring it up. I could say the same thing about reading. Oh, you don't gain anything from reading a book. What do you do your whole life? I can read a book and it completely changed my mentality of how I think. Video games are the same way. I can play a video game or read a comic book, because people say comic books don't teach you shit anyway. That's a lie. You know, I could say the same thing about video games and comic books, where you may play a game and you may or read a book or read a comic book, and it just changes your creativity. You may want to learn how to write or learn how to make a movie or learn how to draw comics. Or when you in games perspectives, you're learning the stories of the characters. You're learning the values of good, evil, of those certain archetypes and stuff like that. The way game stories are told, that could change how you perceive other games, and you may become a better storyteller for it. You know, so you are gaining something from it. Hell, if you're gaining hand-eye coordination. You know,
pop that in the video thing.
All right.
Cause like I gotta see what everybody's talking about. Like I've seen clips of it, but I ain't see like the full thing. I just have to.
Well, I can probably just go to his actual. Is that the actual video for his channel, or is that just the search?
Yeah, but like this is like supposed to be like the full comments of it. So like it was 4 minutes and 17 seconds worth of comment. I love how this just took off.
Yeah,
and people are talking about it. It's like it's literally 4 minutes of a man's opinion.
Yeah, like I can just go to. Hold on, I can just go to his page because I think I'm subbed to his podcast.
Yeah, but I mean that means you would have to find the actual part in the podcast, though.
Yeah, it was only there's certain people like Powerful JRE. I think that's his main channel, but JRE clips out certain segments.
I just sent that to you.
Well, that pulled up a search page.
Wait, a search page?
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. It's Benny Pass.
Here, hold on.
One of the underground rappers I listen to. I got at least 20 of his songs in my nightly playlist every night.
Try that.
Yeah, but that pulled up a search page, that first one.
Try that one.
All right.
The Joe
There we go.
Yeah.
The Joe Rogan
Rogan experience.
I found, I don't know if you agree with this, there were a ton of kids along the way growing up as I was building my business that would say, oh, I'm not into this. I'm not into that. Kind of like you described yourself.
Yeah.
And they don't do anything because they're looking for that thing. And I would argue,
That's
do
like
something.
The old people mindset
do fucking something until you find that thing.
Yeah, I've never been that kid though. I've always been into things. I was into art, or I was into something. I always found things that I was interested in. Just none of them seemed like they were normal things that other people wanted to do for a living, like the path, like a career path. But I think that there's a lot of people that don't have any. There's no one. They're not modeling their life after someone that they see that they admire. Someone that's successful, someone that is doing something that they enjoy and love. Sometimes kids have to see that. Right. And if their parents are living a bullshit life and their neighbors are living a bullshit life and most of their family lives a bullshit life, they just fucking lay around, you know, and then they seek refuge in drugs or video games or something that stimulates them. And video games are a real problem. Though? They're a real problem. You know why? It's because they're fucking fun.
Addictive.
And you don't, I have a real problem with them. And you do them and they're real exciting, but you don't get anywhere.
Right.
It's like you could do like martial arts, right? You could learn jujitsu. You get obsessed by jiu-jitsu, and then 3 years later, you're like an elite jiu-jitsu athlete. You're entering in competitions. You're a purple belt.
You're moving up.
Yeah, you're doing well. Right. You're thinking like, I might be able to open my own school one day.
You got confidence.
Yeah, if I have 100 students and those 100 students are paying me X amount of dollars per month, I can make a living. Holy shit, I can have this would be amazing. And then you see your jiu-jitsu school, and your jiu-jitsu instructor has all these students and drives a Mercedes, and he's got a nice family, and like, that's the future. This way you're doing something exciting and fun, and you don't. Or you could just be playing fucking video games. 3 years later, you could be that same kid just playing.
He said the dojo master is driving around in a Mercedes. I've never seen anyone who owns a dojo drive around in a fucking Mercedes that wasn't rented. like, come on, man. That's like epitome top, like,
Yeah.
like you have to. That's like Hoist Gracie jiu-jitsu schools. You know what I mean? Like you have to come from like the top of the line school, and that school is the only one that's open in your area where everybody wants to come and flock to doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
But like what he's saying is literally in any aspect of life.
Yep.
When you look up to someone who's making a lot of money doing what they love.
Yeah.
What is the fucking difference between martial arts and playing video games? Or acting and being a professional fisherman.
It's like
nothing.
Like I said before, it's all subjective. That kind of mindset, at least maybe not necessarily him, because he's kind of explaining what he means. But the other guy who brought up the topic, it's like that's the mindset of like an older parent who never played a video game. What you consider to be a valuable life or a fulfilling life, you see your kid or something, it's wasting their time playing video games when they could be doing other stuff that you think will be valuable. But that's subjective. I mean, the kid loves the video games. I love video games. That kid may start streaming and then he may make $10 million. Put your income to fucking shame. But not everybody gets there, but it's just
like not everybody's gonna be an elite jiu-jitsu artist.
Exactly. It's all subjective. You put the value on something, not other people. Or well, other people do put value on it, but you have to put your own value towards it to make it mean something to you. And other people are just judging based on their experience. What
the other guy said is like, I didn't take it that way. I took it as him saying that the kid literally doesn't have any aspirations whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like they're not playing video games. They're just not doing anything. They're not trying anything. They're not doing anything.
Well, that's the problem with
because he didn't bring up gaming.
Well, he brought it up before. Like, I don't know when this cut in, but I know they talked about their kids. And he's like, "Oh, my daughters just or my kids just play video games," and that's how they got to this topic.
And then that's what he said. That okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's even if they're just home and playing video games, not doing anything. I mean, that's like
at the same time, who bought them video games?
Yeah, like how many kids? I mean, that's a part of growing up. You have to find what you want to do in life. That's fucking everybody has to do that fucking shit. you don't just come out middle school and high school and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I mean, some people do, but that's what your 20s is for. Finding what you want to do in life.
I had an N64, but I also went out. I tried tap dancing when I was a kid. I tried football. I tried being a drummer, not a drummer, but like a marching band person or whatever. I was an artist. I was doing so much shit, even though I had video games. But at the same time, my mother made sure that she, like, if something just popped up in my head, she would just find a way to get me to go do it.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, turn off the video game. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Where we're going. You'll see when we get there. Boom. I'm here. I'm experiencing shit. It's like, what I notice a lot is like that generation, when video games come out and they have kids, when that kids say, I want a video game, they just go buy it for them, but they don't, and that's it. They ignore their kids.
Yeah.
Go,
that's the problem.
Like if you're a parent and you want your kid to experience things, they're learning from you. You have to take them and go experience things with them, and then show them there's other stuff out there than just video games, even if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Usually,
kids
more times than not,
they don't want to do shit.
Don't want to do shit. Just like kids and older adults don't want to do shit because they just don't. They're either tired or they just don't feel like it.
Yeah. But
it takes somebody to take them to go experience things. How many times has a kid went out and said, I don't want to go, but then when they finally get out the house and they go do things, they have fun. They enjoy it. You know, don't just say, did you enjoy yourself? Don't say that shit because you're going to remind them that they didn't want to go in the first place. You know, so it's like, you have to be, it's not just a kid's job to want to do shit because they don't know what's out there.
Yeah.
It's your job as a parent to say, let's go experience something today. So that way you may seem like you may look at it, see if you want to get into it.
Yeah, that's one of the problems of this younger, like the generation that's after us. Our parents would be like, no, get your ass outside, stop playing that fucking video game, go do something. And then you had to mope around, find your friends and go find your own fucking fun.
Take your school clothes off, put on your play clothes, go outside.
What was that Netflix show? The one, you had to become Stranger Things with you and your friends to go do some shit. Or the Goonies. That's how all of that shit started.
Man, going down by the bayou, finding all kind of weird shit just to poke with a stick.
It's like you have to, as parents, a lot of people nowadays, it's oh my kid's crying. Oh let me put them down in front of the TV, turn on Frozen. Or let me have them play a video game. And that's all they do, because it's like you've never taught them anything different.
Yeah. And again, we don't know what kind of parent this dude is, but when I hear all my kids do is play video games, it's like, cool, but what are you doing with your kids?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, it'd be different like if he's like, oh yeah, I did this, I did that, or whatever.
They're just not interested.
Yeah, and they're not gonna, and a lot of the times kids are I can't say a lot of times, all the times, they're separate people. They're not gonna be into the same things that your generation was into. If y'all was into going outside, football, sports, basketball, or whatever, the younger generation nowadays, if they're not into sports, like me, I don't give two fucks about sports. Like, they can cancel football and the rest of the sports, and like, oh, COVID, oh, we're shutting down all of it, we're never doing football again. Okay, I can care less. A lot of kids are the same way. If you're not into sports, why you can't expect them to want to play sports. Yeah. Now, if you force them in, I'm not saying you force them into playing high school sports or nothing like that, but if you're out there with friends and you playing a football game, and you got to get them to do other things and experiences, like what my parents did. My parents were the same way. We've had video games ever since I can remember. I've had video games. I've had computers, video games, anything that a family. I can't even say that a family would have, that a well-off family would probably have. Not super well-off, but my parents were the kind of parents who, like, they didn't have shit. Mm-hmm. So when they had their families, they busted their ass working to give us things. But at the same time, they didn't want to raise us to be ignorant or to be stuck up or anything like that. So I've had video games, been playing video games my whole life. I was that person to sit down and play video games all day. Wasn't into sports, never really, would go outside, forcefully, but I had two brothers who would always drag me into some dumb shit. So I would go outside, play with them. We played football, tag. Hell, we even made up this game called Guns, where we used to just pick up things and make believe guns and pretend we were shooting each other. But it's like, you have to get outside and experience a lot of that. If you're an only child and you don't have no brothers or sisters or any friends that you play with, and your parents isn't pushing you to go do shit, you're gonna turn out like that, where you just like, all I have is video games, and you have to find your own life or your own interests or whatever. But
that's what I mean. It's like if the kid doesn't feel like doing it, as a parent, and you want them to go experience things, you have to make them. Like, you have to set aside time out of your busy schedule to go take them to do shit, even if you yourself are not interested in it.
It's not about them. It's not about you. It's about them. That's what I'm going to say.
Not wanting to do it, but if you want them to experience something and they're not into what you're into, then you find something that you're not into.
Find something
and then you go do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Or like, even if you don't know, like, you don't know what they're into at all. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you don't know what they're into at all, then and you know that you tried to get them into like what you like, cool. Find some shit that neither one of you know, and then go try it and experience with your friend. Yeah, I mean, with your friend. Basically, make your kid your friend.
No, you don't want to do that.
No, take them to go experience shit. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Take them to go out and like, one, that's how you make memories.
Hell yeah.
And two, that's how you get them open-minded enough to go out and want to go do and try things that they usually don't try anyway.
Yeah. Because if you don't, they're going to be completely closed-minded and not like anything until, let's say, they hit their 20s and 30s and grow into adulthood, and then they may try some shit then. But it's just like, you have to do shit. Like, one thing my parents and stuff used to do is, my parents were, let's say, not necessarily, well, they were broke as shit coming up. So if you, like, I'm sure you probably got down there in Houston, you got the ghetto people who, let's say, never move.
Tell motherfuckers where I'm at, dog. Like,
well, it could. Is there more than one Houston? But anyway, not like it matters. You can't swap people with a city. But anyway,
yeah, you can. They'll find out who I am. Yeah.
Anyway, but like you have, I'm pretty sure you got ghetto people there too who, let's say, live in the ghetto. You never move out. You never experience anything outside of that. And my parents were big sticklers to be like, though, that's not going to be our kids. So when they raised me and my brothers, we would always go off and every once in a while do family vacations. And where most families, if you took a family vacation, it was like to the beach or like something like that. Where like my parents were like, my dad wanted us to do different life experiences. So we went to like Aruba, different states, got outside of the country to do a couple different vacations and stuff like that to kind of broaden our horizons with a whole lot of stuff. And then that, and we had that all the time coming up essentially to experience a lot of that. So we're different people because of it. So it's like, yeah, we didn't feel like going as kids. Like if you asked, oh, you want to go this vacation? I don't know where the hell Aruba is. So no, I don't want to go, but you have fun, you learn, you get experiences from doing everything you do. And it's like, you have to push your family to do that. And like you said, if the parents, if you don't feel like doing it, and you did hell, make yourself do it. Find something else. If they're not into what you're into or what you're trying to push on them, find something that they are into. That's your fucking job. Your job as a parent is to teach your kid, to know your kid, to understand your kid better than he understands his fucking self. That's your job. So do it. And they didn't ask to be there. They didn't ask to be born. So you the one that laid that field, so you got to play ball on it. To use
what else did Joe Rogan say?
Let me hit the play button. Let's find out.
Playing video games, waiting for the next whatever the fuck game is, next Xbox game to come out, and you're gonna waste your time.
You have children. I have children, and it's a big battle in the house. Yes. And my kids, I don't know if you're going through this, but my kids are now saying, well, Dad, this guy made all this money with this video game. That's
real too. That's
right?
real too now.
So like that's 1 in a billion, kid. Like,
I don't know if it's 1 in a billion, but look, I heard the same argument about comedy. My own parents were like, do you know how few people make it as a comedian? I was like, okay, does anybody make it? Somebody makes it, right? They figure out how to do it. They make a living. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Just stop. I know what I'm doing. I was real lucky that my parents were not around very much, so I didn't get much advice. So I figured it out myself. So there was no one telling me I couldn't do it.
Got it.
So
Greenfields.
I was like, I'm gonna find my way through this. And since no one's telling me it's impossible, no one's telling me I can't. Occasionally I would hear someone say, what are the odds? I'm like, listen to this fucking loser. That's my thought, was always like, that guy's a loser. Like if you think like that, you're a loser. But there are kids that make a lot of fucking money playing video games. But the thing is, like, you have to be adaptable. You have to be able to play multiple video games, because the one video game that you get really good at, what are the odds that's going to be around 5 years from now? Right. Like, what's the big one now? Like Fortnite? Is that? Do they make money off of that? Yeah. Yeah. And then there's Call of Duty. They make money off that. What's the big money? StarCraft used to be the big one, right?
That, League of Legends, Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike it's still the Half-Life mod.
Yeah, variations of it have come out. But it's still basically the same exact game.
They don't make money off Quake.
The Half-Life mod.
Not really.
I can't.
Really.
Yeah.
No.
A couple, one or two guys do.
He even knows where it came from.
It's you got to pick the right game. You could be obsessed with the wrong game.
What are you going to do? You're going to spend 5-10 hours a day in the house.
You have to.
Right.
You would have to.
It's a job. You have to treat it like a job.
So honestly, people took that first clip and said that it's a waste of time, and literally just took that and ran with it, just like tabloids do, and didn't even bother to hear how much information that he puts into it, and even defends it. He defended video game. Well, he didn't defend video games. He defended content creators that make money playing video games. It's like, what the fuck did he say was wrong?
Nothing.
Why? Everyone argued like over bullshit. Now, my problem was that he had said that it's not a skill, and it's like, technically anything that you do isn't a skill depending on if you try to turn it into a career or not.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I always thought martial arts was a fucking hobby because people treat it as a hobby. They treat it as like it's something that I'm into. Like music for me was a strong hobby. I didn't know I wasn't going to be a jazz musician. I was thinking about it back in the day. I was that interested. I didn't know nothing else. But thinking about it in career terms, I wasn't thinking that far ahead.
Yeah.
I just thought about maybe I could play a few concerts here and there, but like I didn't know if I wanted to do that. So same thing with martial arts. I was in martial arts. I'm still into martial arts, but I don't practice as much as I used to. Like I used to do taekwondo, and from that I did judo and aikido, and I think at one point, like, you know, everyone starts in karate, you know, like elementary karate. You know, I started there, but then it went from taekwondo, and from taekwondo, I didn't see that as reasonable. Like this isn't realistic. I'm not going to be throwing about. My body type doesn't throw a lot of kicks, and I'm not going to be doing that.
Prime example of sorry to interrupt you, but prime example of what we were just talking about a second ago. My dad, when we was younger, we used to watch a lot of his kung fu movies and stuff, right? So so being the dad in his mind, oh, okay, let me get my kids into that. So he put us in taekwondo classes to try to see if they get us into that shit.
Exactly. I used to watch a lot of Bruce Lee stuff, and I was so into it. That's how I got into taekwondo, because it was a bunch of kicks. And no, it's not reasonable to put a kid in taekwondo who's like small and chubby. No, you would give him back problems. So
let me ask you this. Do you still remember a lot of that stuff?
Yes, I do.
Like the only thing I remember from taekwondo classes, you know, because we was only in it for like 2 or 3 months, but I remember how to do the block, up, and then the block down. That's all my fault. That's all I remember. I can block high, I can block low, but I can't throw punches or kicks.
Well, I wasn't really good at the blocking thing. I was always getting hit, you know. So during sparring sessions, it's like, because the blocking, when they teach, they're not really blocks, because they're not meant to be blocks. They're meant to be like breaks.
Okay, so you're, well, when you mean break, you mean like breaking somebody's punch, or let's say breaking a board or something?
No, breaking legs and arms and shit like that.
Oh, okay, so when you do the block, you're not blocking so they hit your arm, you're blocking the punch that's coming towards you okay.
Yeah, exactly. So like when the punch comes in, you do that to block it. But a lot of that stuff is form stuff, you know. So the high kicks and like the crescent kicks, shit like that, where someone's trying to come down on you, like to chop you with a leg, that's what that block is for. It's to come up and block that so it hits here. And it's not, you're just trying to deflect, you know, an arm, because that's what the side blocks are for, like to block those things and to block side kicks. That shit isn't in actual combat. When you're fighting somebody in the street, that is like the least. They will not throw punches like that. So you get hit.
That's why I'm a fan of what's it called? Krav Maga, because they don't use traditional forms and stuff like that.
So I went from that to judo and aikido, and a lot of that stuff is when you're in. It's really great when you're in street fights, like when people try to grab your collars and shit like that, because like a lot of those wrist turns and blocks and shit like that
applied at almost damn near anything.
Damn near anything. Somebody throws the hand the wrong way, you can catch it, and you can do all that stuff. Flipping people, you don't, in real life, you don't flip people. Flipping people only works inside the dojo, because flipping is the only way to get out of that hold without breaking your arm. And I didn't know that. I thought that all those flips and shit was like, oh, damn, are they just like using their momentum? Like some of it is where you're like hip throwing.
Yeah.
But if you grab somebody by their wrist and you twist it, when you see them flip over, it's because they're trying to like
get
relieve
their
the
arm
pressure
into the regular neutral position where they can do something else.
No, like they're like the grab comes in and then they turn. It's the person who's getting grabbed and is turning. That rotation is from here and it's turning like this. That isn't enough force to flip your entire body over like that.
No.
What's going on is you're practicing and you're jumping and flipping yourself, because if you don't, that wrist is broken.
Yeah, because your arm only goes so far before it breaks.
And And I've seen that multiple times in actual street fights where people was talking shit, and it's like me and a few other students, and we're out, and homeboy like reached over and tried to do something, and he got his shit broken because like, hey, that's what happens. But anyway, yeah, I got in from that into Jeet Kune Do, and a lot of that stuff is very practical. But at the same time, I didn't see myself as doing a career out of that stuff. I just love discipline I was getting. I love the companionship out of friends and stuff like that. And I felt confident, powerful. I was fit. I still got very strong kicks. Like I would go outside, hit a punching bag with my leg, and it'll put a damn it'll leave a dent in the damn punching bag.
Damn.
You know, I love seeing that. Like I love hearing how hard I can kick.
You know what that sounds like? Like to me, that sounds like you love the art of martial arts. Kind of like with like, you know, because what you're describing of like, you know, kicking the bag and stuff, it reminds me of like an old school martial arts movie when they would have the training montage of like people training, and you to like, oh, I start out, I can barely hit the bag, but then it's like, no, after kicking like 5,000 times and busting my ass, I can now kick with so much power I can dent the bag.
When I'm telling you, like you know, like small trees, like thick trees, I used to be able to break those with my leg.
Damn.
Like I would kick like that. I would do like those Bruce Lee side kicks. He did it in one of the, I think it wasn't Chinese Connection. It was like Return of the Dragon. It was the movie where he fought Bruce Lee. I mean, not Bruce Lee. Chuck Norris. They went outside into the back, and he was like, "Oh, show us what you got." So homeboy held up one of those side bags, you know, like those tackling bags, and he held it up for him, and he fucking patted, and then he just twisted his hip, and just like kicked it, and it was making homeboy like fly back a little bit. That's like that. Like I was like, I got to be able to do that. Bro, so I went out, got these punching bags. We started with the ones with the water at the base. At one point, I couldn't kick them over. Then I started being able to fully kick them all the way over where they hit the ground and slam down. And the Bruce Lee side kick, where you know you run, kind of do like a big step, do that side kick. I used to be able to like put dents in walls, like break. I remember at one point there was this building that we were in, and this is when I was in that program. They were remodeling it, so they had to tear down like a whole half a building. I'm like, "Yo, can I help?" They're like, "Yes." So they tried to give me a sledgehammer. I'm like, "Nah, I'm about to do this with my leg." Okay. I did that running side kick, and I put my leg through the wall. So, and I got stuck. But it was one of those things. It's like, yo, this is. You feel powerful, you know, you feel strong, you get that, and you don't want to go outside and start fights because you hurt somebody.
Yeah, it's that confidence. Like I'm the same way. I have a dent in my wall downstairs from side kicking it. It's like the kitchen door frame still has a fucking dent in it from doing a side kick, and it's like, to me, I know exactly what you mean, because I've never trained martial arts all that much, you know, just like 2 or 3 months when I was kids doing Taekwondo, but at the same time, I'm a big dude. I'm 300 something pounds. I'm like 315, and you know I have a big frame. So to me, I'm like, all of my strength is in the upper body. So it's like, to me, I know exactly what you mean, because I've never known what it feels not to be strong. And I remember in high school, like we was talking about my weightlifting class yesterday, or early this morning rather. And I remember doing like certain exercises and watching everybody else in my class be like super weak with it, struggling to do the weight and do it, and I just be lifting it up like it's not even heavy. Like I'm not even exerting any strength here.
Yeah.
But it's like the same kind of way. It's like when you know you're strong, you know, it's like you don't have, well, unless you got like super ego problems, 9 times out of 10, you know you can fuck somebody up. Like I know if I get into a fight with somebody, if I hit somebody the wrong way, I'm either breaking something or I can probably kill them. It's not hard to really hurt somebody. So usually most big people, like look at Andre the Giant, anybody who's like got that extreme amount of strength, they're not going around pushing people over, trying to prove themselves, because it's like, yeah, I know I can fuck you up. I'm good.
Yeah. So like hearing Joe talk about martial arts and, you know, aspirations and looking up to people, it's like, again, you can do that with anything.
Yeah.
Anything. If you see somebody making money and having a career off of it, like literally, I've seen someone make a career out of playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Like in California right now, there was this guy who he sells his services as a dungeon master. He will create campaigns. He will come up with characters. If you don't make your own character, he'll have a character ready for you. He'll have dice ready for you. He'll have a map ready for you. Everything is lined up. He has his books, his journals, everything. And he will come to your house or wherever you want, or I guess, before the COVID thing. And he will create a campaign for you depending on whether it's 3 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, whatever. Maybe not 30 minutes, but like hours. And you will rent him for that day to do your campaign. And he has everything. And it's amazing. It's like when I first did my first Dungeons and Dragons campaign, I developed so many memories. I remember stories and everything. Like I remember parts that I did, parts that someone else did, because you feel like you're in that story.
Yeah.
You just create it yourself. So if someone like that can create a career for themselves doing what they love, why can't that be video games? Now, what I see as an old head is homeboy is like, that's 1 in a billion.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Everything is 1 in a billion until it's not.
Yep.
Until it's not. That's not to me like winning the lottery. It's not like winning the lottery.
No.
How much work are you willing to put into it, and how much dedication, work, consistency, and marketing, because you have to market yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not getting yourself out there, it can still happen for anyone.
Yeah, if you dedicate your life to it, it will happen. I mean, I'm not saying that with everything, but usually most career paths, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Like look at let's say somebody else who has that strong kind of mindset. Like I can think another guy he had on the show, what's his name? David Goggins. Always super committed, super into whatever he does.
Was that the black dude that like trained so hard he did like multiple hell weeks or some shit like that in a row? Yeah,
that was him.
That dude's amazing.
Yeah, it's like if you commit yourself to that kind of confidence in yourself to do whatever it is you set your mind out to do, and there's a lot of people out there that's like that. Like I think Will Smith is one of them too, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna set my mind to do it, and then you do it. No matter how crazy the idea is, no matter what kind of dream it is, you push forward and you achieve it.
Will Smith's quote: "You will not outwork me." Like when I heard that, I was like, "Damn!" And I think he said something like a story of he went to, was it like his grandparents or something like that, where they had him build a wall out of bricks, like they tore down a wall or something, or maybe it was like a metaphor. Yeah, he was talking about brick by brick. You lay it down, and eventually you'll build that wall. You just have to keep going at it, and it's basically the amount of work that you put in on it.
Yeah.
And once that wall is built, it's built. I was like, well, damn. It's like
the Rock is the same way.
Strong.
Yeah, same kind of mentality. And it's like I've always envied those kind of people. Like I'm not super into that because I'm more practical. I'm logical and practical. It's like, well, I could do that, but is that the kind of life I want to live though? It's like I treat it the same way like working out. Like, yeah, I have the mindset to dedicate myself to be working out all the fucking time and be super fit and eat super healthy. But then it's like at the same time, I'm like, but food tastes good though. Is being fit worth not enjoying my life? I mean, I know it would change to a different enjoyment, but it's just like,
So at that point, do you really have the mindset? Because you would know that, like, the practical side is I'm going to work out to be fit, but I'll be able to eat whatever I want because you'll be working out.
Well, I think 9 times out of 10 with me, I think in extremes. It's the same thing. Like with me, or prime example with working out. They always say, oh, start off small and then gradually go big, right? There's reasons for why they say that. Me, I'll be like the guy. I'll be like, no, put 200 pounds on that bar. I'm just gonna. That's what I'm gonna start off with. I try to because I feel like if I don't feel like I'm putting in the effort, meaning physically, like I could start off with 5-pound dumbbells. It's like, all right, I feel like I ain't doing shit. If I don't feel like I'm working myself, then I feel like I'm not doing shit. So I always feel like I gotta go extra. I gotta take the Saiyan mentality. I gotta go Vegeta if I go to the gym every day. Otherwise, what the fuck am I going to the gym for? That's the kind of mentality I try to I put into doing that. But
I used to do that. I used to kill myself over that shit. Like I'm like, if I ain't throwing up, I ain't working out.
Yeah,
It's like
you know, the old school Muhammad Ali training.
But at the same time, it's like when you're not used to it, that makes you stop. It makes you not want to.
Yeah.
Like you got to find a baseline first, and whatever that baseline is, you stay at it for a little bit, then you can start wrapping it up from there. And I had to learn that real quick when I was doing we had the 6-week challenge or something like that. I think I told you about that a while ago. I paid $200 for this. Like it was damn near, what was that fitness regimen? I forgot what it's called. CrossFit. It's almost like CrossFit, where you're just doing a bunch of different exercises or whatever. And I remember the first day, man. The first day I threw up. People was looking at me like something was wrong, man, because I got older people around me keeping up with this shit, but I wasn't. My body wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
I had to go to the bathroom, man. I threw up like just multiple times. There was nothing. I didn't eat anything. So it was just like nothing but heaving and water, and I overheated.
What kind of exercises were you doing?
Just a lot of different shit. Like I think on that day I showed up to a full body that day.
Oh yeah, that's gonna kill
when
you
I
no
started.
What you do?
Yeah. So you had to do 3 laps around a parking lot.
They'd have lost me at that shit.
Yeah.
I can run it involved. Nah, I'm too good.
You know what's messed up is like I hate running now. I used to love running, but I hate running now. Mostly because it messes up my shins and shin splints and my feet. If I don't have really comfortable shoes, but you're not supposed to wear comfortable shoes when you're running. You're supposed to wear shoes made for running. Yeah. And for me, they're never comfortable. So the 3 laps around the parking lot, I'll fuck with a treadmill, but not actual running. And then
to me, I'm the same way. Like I give me the exercise bike or the treadmill or the stepper one. That's cardio. Don't make me run.
With a treadmill, you ain't really doing shit because the thing is moving for you.
That's the point.
I know. So on the inside, they had. I know the way it was set up is it's supposed to be 1 minute per exercise. So is it 1 minute? I think it was 1 or 2 minutes per exercise. So that way, by the time you finish, it was 30 minutes because the whole class was 1 hour.
Okay.
So
that sounds like what do they call it? A hit exercises where you do different stuff. You're hard,
high
all
intensity.
The time.
High intensity training. So the whole thing was like 30 minutes, and then you wait where you have a 30-second break, and then another round for 30 minutes. And it was arms, chest, back, and then once you finish the 3 laps, you come inside and you do stretches, push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, like basically getting your body ready for the workout. I'm like thinking, this is the workout. What are you talking about ready?
No,
I'm leaving after this.
You got to warm up first.
No. I'm leaving after this, okay? I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing that chip the tire. I'm not doing all that.
You're not trying to get your Ben Affleck on? You're not trying to become Batman?
So we do that, then we do the rounds, and then I had these oxygen cans. I'm just puffing oxygen during the break, and just like drinking water. And then after all that's said and done, then you have another cool down period where it's nothing but abs, just planking and scissor kicks and touch toes and knee ups and oh my god, every single day. And I was there like 5 a.m. every day for a week. And then at one point I was doing 2 a day. So I would be there for the second class. I wouldn't even leave. I'm like, yeah, let's do it again. Just trying to keep up. Eventually you get used to it, but
yeah, that's what they say. It's like when you start off, like I've never tried anything that committed, I would say. Like I think the furthest workout thing I've had was, I remember when I was working at Verizon, making that good money. They opened up like this big fancy super waste your fucking money gym out here. And when we went to the gym, got a membership, and I got a personal trainer. I was like, I'm making enough money. Give me a fucking personal fucking trainer. And this skinny white girl, and I trained with her for, let's say, like a couple months, you know, just once a day, just working out. And it was nothing that super hard, you know, like what you're saying, but just in the span of just starting out, just from starting out, and then after like maybe 3 or 4 months of quitting, I guess you could say, because I was a fucking loser. But just in the span of like, I remember when I started that, how much I was able to do. And then at the end, let's say when I stopped, how much I was able to do. And it definitely was an increase and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what they say about a lot of that workout stuff. It's like once you start, it's hard, but then after like the month and a half, your body gets used to it, and then your body starts looking for those workout periods, and
starts craving it.
That becomes your stress relief, your what do they call it? The endorphins and stuff kick in when you work out.
Dopamine.
And it's just like anything else. So
yeah, I used to get a dopamine drive like hardcore back in 2009, 10. It's around the time where I was working for the airport, and at the bottom of from terminal A to terminal D and E was exactly 1 mile. So we had a bottom train that would take you to each terminal if you wanted to, and the train would stop at each station. It would go from A to B, and it would take exactly 3 minutes to get there. And then from B to C, it would take 3 minutes. And then from C to D and E, which is a combined station. And then it would come all the way back. So it was 9 minutes one way. So since it was exactly 1 mile, because you would look up there and it was like 3,540 something feet. And I was like, well, shit, that's a mile, or damn near a mile. So I used to just walk that instead of coming back with everybody on the train. I just walked. So then I started jogging, and then I would try my best to beat the damn train, or at least stay with the train all the way down. And eventually, after about, I want to say a month of that, I was able to catch up, not only catch up with the train, but pass the train and already be sitting down waiting to clock out by the time they get off the train. So I was running, I think when I finally stopped, an 8-minute mile, which for me, like that shit was like amazing. Because like before it was 13 minutes when I first started, so 13, 14 minutes. And then it went down from 13 to 12. And then I think at one point it was just 9 the whole way through. But shit, I was able to do jogging and just running without having to stop and catch my breath and none of that shit.
Yeah.
Shit. One time I fucking fell down when I was next to the train. I was running everybody on the train. They're like, go, go, go. And I just like, my legs gave out and I boop, boop. And I just fell down and I passed out. I'm laying down on the ground and shit. They're just laughing their ass off, dog. It's like, I didn't stop though.
Yeah, that's where I want to get to. Like at some point, I'm learning more, or as I'm pushing 40, it's one of those things where, damn, just saying that just makes me feel old. But anyway,
when you said you ain't pushing, you 37, you ain't pushing 40, bro. That's like me saying, oh, I'm pushing 40. I'm only 32.
But
I'm not even pushing 35 right now.
But it's just one of those things where it's like I'm learning more about fitness to try to ease myself into it, along with eating healthier and stuff, because I don't want to have a lot of problems that people have when they're 40, 50, and 60 and all that stuff. And it's one of those things, like that's where I always want to get to that point where I can run. Like I see some people outside, like my neighborhood is a typical suburb type area. So a lot of the people, they bike, they run, they walk their dogs and all that kind of sort of stuff, all the suburb stuff that people do. And I see it every day of people jogging, and like I left out like prime example when we ended the video this morning, it was like 8 o'clock my time. So I was like, let me go to fucking Chick-fil-A, get some fucking breakfast. Saw like 4 fucking people jogging down the street and shit. I'm like, fuck y'all, you know. So this was like, that's where I want to get my fitness level to be. Like I don't have no kind of desire to be like super buff or to be like super cut and have like a 0.2 body fat percentage or whatever they call that shit. But just like to the point where it's like I'm healthy enough to where it's like I can jog and I can run and not get winded every 5-10 seconds. You know, I want to get to that average level. Like if I hit average, I'll be perfectly set. That and just eating better to lose weight and all that kind of sort of stuff. So I don't know.
So saying that we have to go jog and record ourselves with our phones while we do it, and then we have to show it to each. Okay.
Hell no, I ain't saying that shit.
Oh, okay. So you just talk.
I will green screen the fuck out of that shit. Yeah, guys, I'm jogging. Don't worry about it. Donate $100. Like that.
So you just talking right now.
I do that shit like an old school music video. Bust the rhymes, that shit.
I'm just saying, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, it's it is what it is.
Well, you ain't gotta jog. Shit, at least walk.
Well, that's where I want to, like I said, jogging. That's my end game. That's my Thanos.
Oh, jogging.
That's my Thanos. I want to get to that point where it's like I can run around the track and be healthy enough not to get winded. At least for a little bit. I know I'm never gonna be like that super athletic person, but.
But I mean, when you start though, that's what I'm asking.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big person who walks outside either. I'm one of those people like I have a curling bar, dumbbells, and I'll do like body weight calisthenics, and I got a Bowflex. I'm good. I mean, I just need to get cardio in some kind of way. So I don't know. Walk around in a circle or something. Do HIIT exercises, push-ups, sit-ups. Just keep doing that shit for cardio. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the best way is to have somebody to hold you accountable. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll get it done in my due time.
Okay. Be about 45, 50 years old. Like, maybe I should start running.
Like, oh, the doctor says I have a bad heart. I could die at any moment. It's about that time.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just about to say that, man. Like, I want to make changes now to where, I don't have to go to the doctor and the doctor say, if you eat one more strip of bacon, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Hurt.
Yeah,
Can it be turkey bacon though? Nigga, did I just say bacon? Bacon in general. I don't even care if it looks like bacon. You can slice off a piece of tomato and color it like bacon, and you fry that shit, you're dead. Okay? Don't do it. Just don't do it. All right, got you.
Yeah.
What about carrot? Vegan bacon.
But yeah, life is weird like that because it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's most of America, right? And then you could be that healthy guy who eats vegan, works out, does everything 100% right. Die of a heart attack.
Yeah,
or
because what you didn't know is that he does lines of cocaine every time he wakes up. It's like, that's what you didn't see. Yeah, but he was so healthy. Was he though? Did you check the inside of his nose? Did he ever mention that he used to smell flowers and loves the smell of your perfume and cooking? No, because he burned his nose hairs out, man. Like, come on now. Dude didn't die of keto. He died because he was shoving that white stuff in his nose.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that get killed to that for that reason too. But I don't know. Life is just weird. It's like you could be the healthy person and die in your 20s, or you could be that person who chain smokes cigarettes, eats all the bad shit, and then live to be like 120. That's just the way life is.
Because you're evil.
Yeah, it's like the evil.
You hurt animals and kittens.
It's like the evil sustains you. The more asshole you are, it sustains your body. Like it's the fucking dark side of the Force.
Yeah, look at Palpatine. He looked like he was 300.
Mm-hmm.
Because he at that point you have to, because on the other side, you don't want to know what's going to be on the other side.
Well, that's the thing.
You got to stay here as long as you can.
Well, that's the thing. At least in Star Wars case, that don't fucking matter. Like the prime example in KOTOR, it was a KOTOR 2. I know this is a video game, it's ain't a part of the canon, but in the video game, the bad guy of the game was this guy who was all cut up. He died in a battle and was just like, no, it didn't happen. You ain't kill me. And was using the Force to hold his body together the entire game as the bad guy. Or if you die in Star Wars, you become like a fucking Force ghost that can possess objects and your soul stays alive and you could talk and influence people and shit.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what they were
They
going to
never
do
showed
with,
that on the movies.
That's what they were going to do with Vader. That's why, like, have you seen the newer Star Wars movies?
The newer ones?
Yeah, like the newest ones, like in the past few years.
I remember, what was it? The Last Jedi. I didn't see the new one. The new movie.
Okay, that's the prime example. That's the one I was going to talk about. You remember in The Last Jedi how, what's the name? Ben Solo, Darth Vader wannabe. How he would talk to Darth Vader's helmet and it was all messed up or crunched up or destroyed. The reason why he would come and talk to the helmet was he was, or thought he was, communicating with Vader's spirit or Force ghost. That's why he had the helmet. They never explained that in the movie, but that's what they were leading towards. So he thought he was communicating with, let's say, Vader, but reality, it was Palpatine pretending to be Vader, influence him to do what he wanted.
That's why Palpatine could have came back.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Well, Palpatine comes back for another dumb reason that they interject in the last one. That's why nobody liked the last one.
Thanks, man. I just told you I didn't see the last one.
I just said it was a dumb reason, and it's in the trailer. Trust me, they want you to know he's back. They did not hide the fact, but it's one of those things where they had a storyline to go with. They had to rework it. They messed it up, dropped the ball, and then at the end, now a lot of things in The Last Jedi doesn't make sense because they went with something completely different. So yeah, they really dropped the ball with the new ones. I think the newest news I heard about that, I don't know if it's true or not, but they said that the new movies they're gonna write them out of canon because they fucked up.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, you came out with 3 movies. Now it's just like, oh, since people don't fuck with it, they just like, writing it.
So you're gonna write it out of canon, but not correct it.
Yeah. Well, it's given what they did, it's kind of hard to
go back and fix it.
Yeah, they fucked it up that bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how bad they fucked it up. Like if in order to make newer movies, it's one of those things where you just have to be like, oh, that didn't happen, or the next movie you do has to take like 400 or 500 years in the future, where anything we do in this one don't matter with what happened to the old one, or make a prequel movie that's before all the stuff just so you can fit it in somewhere.
Damn.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of stuff that they put in there that's just like, if you're a fan of it, you're like, wait a minute, that don't make sense because of this don't make sense because of that. And it's just a lot of that because they fucked up planning out the new movies, because they did the first movie, The Force Awakens, and that was meant to be a pseudo reboot. That's why if you watch it, it follows beat for beat, kind of like A New Hope or whatever the first one was. That's why it plays like that. Then when you hit the next one, it was meant to be directed. I forget who did it. It was J.J. Abrams or somebody else. But that person who did The Force Awakens was supposed to do the second movie, The Last Jedi. But so he planned out a few things that was supposed to happen. They had a beef with that director, got rid of him, and then brought in J.J. Abrams, or J.J. Abrams was the guy they got rid of and brought in somebody else. He did The Last Jedi, and they cut the movie up, did his own thing, and then at the end of that movie, they got rid of him and went back to J.J. Abrams, who did the third one. So then in the new one, he had a couple things in there that was basically like FUs to that second movie, since he didn't make it. So it's like the story is kind of all over the place and messed up because of that. If they'd have planned it cohesively like Marvel does the MCU, they would have been fine.
Like he was trying to do at the beginning before they replaced him.
Exactly. So it's like Disney messed that movie up by trying to overplan and overdo or put in what they think fans want, in addition to not only that, trying to be super PC with having Rey be the female Mary Sue Jedi character, and Carrie Fisher, Leia, she died. She OD'd on something and died when they were making the movie, so they had to cut her part out of the last movie. They had to CG her character in there. So it's like they had a lot of things happen, but if they just planned it out like that, like an MCU movie or series of movies, and then just stuck to that script, they would have been better for it now. But it's in a bad place movie wise. They have a franchise that they can make $1 billion movie off of, but nobody wants to see it because of how bad they fucked it up.
Yeah, please.
So now they're trying to change that and retcon that. The only thing that's working for them Star Wars wise is the side stuff, not your main draw, which is your $1 billion movies. Like the Mandalorian, people like that. The Clone Wars TV show, people like that. A lot of the side stuff people are excited about, but not, you want them to be excited about the main stuff and then have them branch off into the side stuff. But
the main stuff is done, right?
Yeah, now it is. But you know, they're not gonna stop making movies. They're probably gonna sit on it for
not?
Hell, it's $1 billion franchise.
Well, see, what I'm saying is
why
like
they bought it from George Lucas.
It seemed like it would be over. You know what I mean? From what I've been hearing, that that's done.
That's how
the main saga 1 through whatever is done.
Well, what they were planning to do was, that's the reason why they had to change and squash all their plans, because they were trying to do too much too fast. The reason why they bought Star Wars from George Lucas, because they was like, okay, we can make movies like the MCU. We own that. We're doing our damn thing with that. Let's do the same thing with Star Wars and make billions and billions of dollars. Everybody loves fucking Star Wars. What can go wrong? So that's what they did. They tried to make the new movies. They brought in Rey, and they tried to make a female-centric movie, since that's the PC thing to do. And you had a few people in their management that wanted to strive for that, so they did that. And they were making the 3 movies, the next trilogy, you know, the movies that we got. And in between that, they were like, okay, well, since people like these, let's make the side movies. That way we have, you know, the Call of Duty thing. Let's have a Star Wars movie at Christmas every year. So you had the regular main movie, Force Awakens, Rogue One, and then the next movie, Solo, the prequel about Han Solo that nobody fucking wanted. And then, you know, the last trilogy movie. And then they had a few movies that was going to be left. And then you had the side stuff, like the Mandalorian. They're going to make an Obi-Wan type Mandalorian TV show, mini TV show, stuff like that. So they were planning to franchise the Star Wars like they did Marvel and the MCU. But with them dropping the ball with a lot of the shit, your main movies, the ones that's supposed to tentpole all of that, failed. So now they like, okay, well, let's scratch all of this stuff, and we got to pick up the pieces, and then you know they're going to put it back together some kind of way, and you know they're going to make new movies. They're probably going to sit on it for maybe about 2 or 3 years, getting, you know, once if COVID doesn't fully stop things. But once everything picks back up, they're going to plan out a new trilogy of movies. I don't know what that could be, because they can't pick up where they left off with this one. So that's what I'm saying. It would have to be like an early prequel of thousands of years ago, or something that's like 100 years later or 200 years later, because it can't really pick up where Rey left off or where Ben Solo left off. I mean, they could do it, but it's like, why would they pick up where her character left off if people didn't like her movie? That's just a bad business decision, so they're probably not going to do that.
What?
Yeah. So as a Star Wars fan, a lot of people are like, this is some bullshit. That's why a lot of people didn't like The Last Jedi, because everybody was like, at the end of that movie, like, look what they did to Luke Skywalker. You know, it's they a lot of movies now are trying to do the what's the term where you expect something and the movie or storyline does something different, like usurp your expectations or something like that.
I forgot what it's actually called, but yeah,
a lot of movies are doing that nowadays. A lot of movies nowadays are doing that as your way of getting people to be like, oh man, we didn't expect that. We really like that. But the problem with that is you're doing it with an established character. Like in The Last Jedi, the thing people had a problem with Luke Skywalker is, if you know anything about his character from the older movies, they said that the books and a few other things aren't canon no more, so you could throw that out the window. But let's say if you just go on by just the movies, he is one particular type of character. He is your hero archetype. So he's the guy that's going to be like, oh, let me go save these people if I have the power to do so, blah, blah, blah. In The Last Jedi, it's like, hey, look, we need you to help take out the Empire's back, you know, whatever, they got this. And he's like, fuck it. So when you're watching,
I know about that.
Yeah, so when you're watching it, you're like, "Oh, Luke wouldn't do that."
Well, when I saw that, it disappointed me, but
yeah,
I think Abrams wrote a good reason why he did that.
Yeah,
it's just it didn't really seem right.
Yeah,
like for his character, I know he was supposed to be the new hope. He was the only person that wasn't supposed to lose hope, and it seemed like he did.
Yeah.
At the same time, he tried to like his nephew killed all his students, and he was supposedly going to kill his nephew.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like he was raising another Darth Vader, and he didn't want that. So why should he step up anyways? Because if he feels like he lost all hope in what he was doing, and that's why Yoda talked him out of it. You know, I that's what I would think. But what I hated that they could have done was take him show that. Show him coming back, like not just appearing out of nowhere, right? Where he's like a fucking vision. Like show that he landed his ship, like Rey is coming to the battle or something like that, or somebody's showing up and they're looking at this old X-wing fighter with this like muddied appearance with seaweed wrapped around it. Like show that. You know what I mean? Show that he actually flew there some kind of way. But I know that he was he was so far away, there was no way he could make it there in the next fight. But if he started that journey before they had that battle because he knew it was coming, because he knew that the Force was taking him to this place, it would have been a reason for it.
Yeah.
Him getting his lightsaber back. Like he pulled out his actual lightsaber that he threw away. And then after the battle is done, he actually does disappear because he dies. Just like how Obi-Wan did it. Strike me down, I'll be the most powerful thing you ever. Yep.
Just magically just gone.
Yep. And now he's not just some kind of force projection, and then he ends up dying on a world far away. Like to me, that was the weakest death for any character.
I agree with you all of that. Like I didn't dislike The Last Jedi as much as those super hardcore fans did. I can understand what they were doing, but like that was my only problem. It's like I just wanted Luke to come back, and even if he wasn't the one to beat the bad guy, like if you want to promote Rey and have her be your hero character, fine. As long as her abilities, her experience is earned, I have no problem with that. But they went into that writing her as like a Mary Sue kind of character, so I didn't really like her character all that much.
Yeah, she was too strong for no reason.
Yeah, and that's the point.
How'd you learn how to like fucking do Jedi mind tricks and nobody taught?
Well, watch the last movie. They kind of sort of explain a lot of that. If you go by their explanation, it's like, okay, I can understand why you're saying that, but it don't line up. But they try to explain that away in the movie you haven't seen. But it's like that's that. But yeah, not giving Luke that last battle. Like if he'd have showed up at that last battle, and let's say he and Rey fought them together and they won, but Luke got killed, I wouldn't have been mad. I'd have been like, you know what? Yeah, I just want to see Luke come back and whoop some ass. That's all I want to see. But it's just like, it's like I get why they usurp the expectations, because it's like they're trying to surprise the audience. But it's like, you still write a good movie. You have to, make people want to see your movie. And at the end of that movie, it's just like, number one, you're not beating the bad guy. Everybody knows you're not defeating the Empire. This is the second movie, so usually during that hero's journey, this is your movie where it's like, oh no, we're gonna lose. So it's like, and even in that movie, like Rey didn't even fight. What's his name? Did he? At the end, it's like the two armies fought. I remember.
No, that was the movie where
the girl crashing into something.
A lot of people had a problem with that. Like, I know a lot of people said that Finn should have died because it meant that his character meant something.
Yeah.
And by her saving him, it was really stupid. And then she died, and it was for love, but her character wasn't like that at the very beginning, and she didn't have enough character progression change her mind in that way. But anyway,
Well,
no, at the end of
well,
that
there's
movie,
some
that's when Ray showed up and she was hovering those
the
boulders
rocks
and
and
shit.
stuff. Yeah, so they can escape or whatever. But like, yeah, they explain a little bit of that in the next movie too. But I think that's another problem with the movie is like I love Finn as a character.
I did too.
And I think a lot of people wanted him to be the main character. Like I thought that's what I thought it was going to be in Force Awakens. But I think the problem with that is I don't know if this is true or not. So I may be talking out of my butt, but the vibe that I got with Finn's character, it's like, and you want to have that Finn Rey. Are they going to get together? Or are they not? It's like you wanted to have that vibe, but then you have Finn, who they didn't know what to do with. He had the beef with Phasma, but they never really did anything with that. And then you have Finn, and it's like, okay, then you have, what's his name? Poe Dameron.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, they got some kind of, the vibe I got is like, okay, they're a little bit too close to be friends. It's like, do you want to say that they're gay, but you don't want to come out and say it? You know?
I didn't get that. I got like a buddy situation where it's almost like, what's his name? Chip and Dale, or no, Fish and Chips from. Is it Fish and Chips?
No, Fish and Chips is a dinner plate.
No,
Chips and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Yeah, you was right the first time.
No, not that. No, I wasn't, because I was talking about Chips, like from the two cops. I think it was from a show called Chips.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The '70s show. Yeah, the Highway Patrol cops. Yeah.
Yeah, but I forgot the cops' names.
Yeah, I just remember one of them was white, one of them was Hispanic. I'd probably know it if I heard it, but it's been so long since I've seen that show.
Like that's what I got from them. I got them as like that duo, like almost like Lethal Weapon with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
So I got that. I was like, that's cool, right? That's supposed to be, to me, the new Han Solo and Chewie, like their duo.
Yeah, I get that, but the one thing that let's say messes that up, at least in my eyes, that would have been cool if they'd have did that with Finn's character. But it's like, I feel like, and I mean, maybe it's just me, but Finn to me seems like that Rose character. Like I see, like when I looked at the new franchise, you have Finn and Poe. It's like, I understand Poe's place. He is your Han Solo. He's the pilot. He's the roguish type guy. You have Rey. She's your Luke Skywalker. I get that. Finn is just there. It's like he had his story arc, his point in the movies played no part. Like you could take Finn out of the movie and just made it about Poe and Rey and been just fine. It's like, I get why they want him there because he's the black demographic. He's gonna be that guy.
No,
but I feel like him and Poe are like the same person. Why not just make Finn the pilot guy?
Because like that wouldn't have worked, because how would he ever get out of the Empire?
He was already out. That was the whole point of the first movie.
Where would he go though? Like he wouldn't be there. So for Poe to be able to go there to infiltrate the Empire and then just get out, like nothing ever happened. Like Finn's character set up a lot of stuff. It set up a lot of information that people who didn't read the books didn't know.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I missed something because I didn't read the books for the movie at all.
What?
You said that Finn's character set up stuff that people who didn't read the books didn't know.
Yeah. You never read any of the Star Wars books?
No, I haven't read none of those books for the new movies. I've read the older or something.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the older stuff. Yeah,
no, I thought you meant because they make books with every movie. So.
No,
that's what I thought you meant.
I meant like. So there's a few things that people who watched the movies and didn't look at the side shit never knew about.
About the Force and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like prime example. Wait, there's a black stormtrooper? Wow.
Yeah, everybody.
You don't read any of the other shit.
Everybody thought they were clones. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, because for a long time I did too. Because that's all you ever see is like clones were the Clone Wars, and it was just one dude who was supposed to be Jango Fett or Boba Fett. One of them. Jango Fett. I know it was Jango. Yeah. So I know it was supposed to be him for a bunch of the clones.
Yeah.
But that's what the Clone Wars came from. What a lot of people didn't know is that they took slaves from a bunch of different planets and turned them into stormtroopers from brainwashing.
Yeah.
So when you introduce a character, one, he's black, so that tells people that never read the side stuff that there are more troopers than just the clones, and most of those clones are dead by now.
Yeah.
Like they're not even the same.
Yeah,
like these are people from different worlds.
Yeah, you're judging. You're assuming that judgment based on like, oh, they wear armor that looks like this other guy, so he must be a clone trooper, when that don't really pertain to anything.
It's like the amount of years between that movie, the Clone Wars, and now is too far.
Yeah,
like all those clones would have died of old age, and also they had a shelf life too. A lot of people didn't know that. Like they weren't supposed to live to be a certain age.
Yeah,
so
why would you make a really badass army and not put it? They did the same thing in Metal Gear, like with Solid Snake and all of that. It's like, oh yeah, let's engineer fucking great super fucking soldiers. Oh yeah, let's make it so that they die in like 30 years because we don't want them to turn against us.
Exactly. So when they see that, like Black Stormtroopers, like, yeah, you don't read none of the other shit, so we got to explain a few things for you. So there's that, and then the second thing is, if you've read the books, then you get surprised because when you hear The Last Jedi or whatever the movie that was, I think that was it The Return of the Jedi? Nope.
Well, which one?
What was it? First, New Hope? Nope, that was one of the old ones.
Yeah.
The very first in the new series.
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. So if you read the books, you know that a lot of the stuff that those slaves had, they didn't know names. They had no names because they were taken as kids. They were like 2, 3 years old, 4 years old, and then they were taught in that way and brainwashed, and for them to grow up believing the Empire and to be completely completely subservient to them.
Yeah, kind of like how in Halo, what they did with the Spartans.
Yes, kind of, sort of, but like with the Spartans, yeah, you're right. They were genetically altered, so like they were implanted, and then they took them out.
Well, I don't mean like what they were. I mean just like as far as like their mentality, like believing in this, we're going to teach you this, and they were conditioned from a young age.
Yes. So a lot of people didn't know that. Like these are brainwashed people. They're not people that's there because like, oh, I believe in their ruling and their idea. Like, no, they're there because they don't know better. So when on the battlefield, Finn is like, I don't like what's going on here, and he's having these emotional issues. The bad guy notices this. He looks directly at him because he knows that something is stirring in this character.
Yeah,
and
doubt. Why are you doubting?
Yeah, and that doubt is actually not. They don't sense feelings. They sense the Force. The Force is kicking him out of this brainwashing. And when he went up to Phantasma, like, the main bad guy, he says, no, he gives Phantasma his number and everything. He's like, what is this about? And he says, oh, we had to deal with him before because he broke his conditioning before. So this isn't the first time. He's gone through conditioning twice, and it hasn't kept twice. So that shows that this character is strong in the Force because the Force is able to manipulate him in a way to break him out of his conditioning. So that's why they was like trying to go get him again. But then that's when he started interacting with Poe, because he's like, yo, something's wrong. Let me show you how to get out of here. So basically, he was the magical black man that got Poe out of a bad situation. I mean, I'm just telling you.
The old stereotype.
Yeah, he was that guy that was knowledgeable enough to save the hero at the time. And in turn, that hero saved him by bringing him into the fold. Now, okay,
I'll let you finish. My bad.
So the reason why I say that his character was really important is because it showed that the Force Awakens, that whole plot twist, there was more to it. So not only do you have Rey, which is this other character who was like, yeah, she's the centerpiece, but now when you hear the Force Awakens, you see how this character is also like his whole background led him to be here with her on this planet on this day at this time,
as if it was destined to happen.
It meant something, And then his interacting with Han Solo of all people was like really key as well. and her interaction, because she knew exactly what the Millennium Falcon was, the race, everything. She knew all that shit. So this was like almost a passing of the torch to these two people. So his character development really meant something too in that movie, because one, when Ray was gone, the only person that was left was Poe and him. Poe is he's a fighter in the air. He's nothing else other than that. I see Poe as a pilot.
Yeah.
The best fucking pilot ever. So yeah, if anyone had to be Han Solo, it would be him. And if anything, Chewie would be Finn. And a lot of people are saying that how the reason why Han Solo was able to make that run in however many parsecs was because he uses the Force and he doesn't know that he's doing it, because he's able to like fly the plane and like go through meteors and shit like that without crashing. I mean, look,
you didn't see Solo, did you?
I tried to watch it. I did watch it. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I think they explained that whole Tesla run thing and that, and a lot of people did. A lot of people wanted your explanation of it, where it's like, just don't explain it.
I know they did it, but it was like, to me, it was like, that's cheap. So it's a lie. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not even, they explained it to me. But anyway, when I'm watching the character, one of the key points is you need another fighter. If you're going to have Ray get captured, so you're going to focus on. It's not about Han Solo, so you can't keep the cameras on him. It's not about Poe Dameron, because he can't be the everyman, everything.
Yeah.
He can't be the pilot and the good fighter, because at one point, why do you need Ray and anybody else if Poe is that great?
Yeah.
So you need that extra person. And if you're going to make a love triangle, you need somebody that's going to be more realistic in who you're going to make them up with, which is going to be a young person and another young person, and they come together in that way.
I get you.
And then introduce bad guy, love triangle. Yeah. So when she's gone, I remember this one key thing. He looks up into the sky and he hears screaming. And then that's when the laser blew up that planet. If you watch the edit, he hears it before the laser even goes off.
So showing that he's Force sensitive, because he's knowing what's about to happen, essentially.
Yes. And when it happened, he noticed it. He felt that disturbance. So it's like, okay, now you've shown that he has Force powers. It's not Force powers, but he's Force sensitive as well, other than just Ray. So that makes it even.
Pick up that lightsaber at the end of that movie, but I was mad when they showed him getting beat.
In that same movie, he runs inside, and that's when the people come, and he's like, I need a weapon. She's like, you have one. It's like, oh, nigga. Okay, cool. He goes outside, and he uses the lightsaber. In lore, lightsabers are only supposed to be used by a Jedi. They were an actual Jedi weapon that didn't have an on and off switch. You couldn't, like, the Force is what controls it. So the containment is actually the crystal and the Force, like extending it a certain length, and like that was like old school, like the very first book. Yep. Yeah. So when they made that shit, only lightsabers can be used by Jedis Jedis
have the skill to use it.
Not just skill, but the ability to turn it on in the first place. If you weren't a Jedi, or if you weren't a Force user, you couldn't turn it on no matter what. So them including a button on the shit is bullshit. That was just So when he turned that lightsaber on and he started fighting, the only thing I didn't like is that he could not get taken. Like he wasn't able to fight this dude and kill him. Mother had a tonfa. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, you mean traitor? I think that's what the internet called him. Yeah, that's what made him badass. He's like, oh, I'm just the one stormtrooper. Fuck your ass.
Well, see, the problem with that was that he wasn't supposed to be fighting him. He was supposed to be fighting Phasma. Yeah. Phasma was supposed to beat him. He was supposed to come back in the next movie and beat her.
Yep.
From character development.
Yeah, they ran Phasma's character into the ground because they never did anything with it.
Nothing. And then she ends up getting killed by R2-D2.
Yep.
or one of the other droids.
They put her in like a trash compactor or some shit. It was...
That's not how she died. They threw her in the trash compactor in the first episode as a joke. She came back out. So she didn't die there. She died when they were inside the hangar and they was trying to leave the car, and the floor blew up because the fucking droid in the thing was shooting shit inside of another like AT walker or whatever. And that's how she went. It's like you didn't have your fight. She didn't get her comeuppance from Finn. Finn was supposed to beat her with the lightsaber and then probably kick her into the fire.
Yeah.
That's where you get that character development from. That's what it was supposed to be, but they didn't do that because new director, fuck your plans.
Yeah.
And there was supposed to be a love triangle between Finn, Rey, and Evil Dude.
Evil. Okay, yeah. Okay.
I keep forgetting his name.
Kylo Ren.
Kylo, yeah. There was supposed to be a love triangle there.
Yeah.
That ended for some reason because when he got slashed in his back, who saves Rey? Finn does with his lightsaber. He fights him with the lightsaber. He's not good at it, but to me, he's better than Rey.
He should have been. Rey had zero training with lightsaber, where at least Finn would have soldier training with using what's the metal that they have? I forget the name of it, but it's like the metal that they make. It's kind of like vibranium or something like that, where it's like something that's super strong, and they even make swords that can actually fight against lightsabers and stuff. I forget what it is.
Well, they can't fight against. They're not supposed to be able to fight against lightsabers, but they were the swords that they used before lightsabers were a thing.
Yeah.
They do use that, but they don't mention it in the thing. But not every stormtrooper gets weapons training.
Yeah.
So when you're a stormtrooper, you get multiple weapons, but it's whatever whatever
you're specialized in.
Whatever you're good at, that's what you stay with. So if he had guns, then he should have been shooting like Han Solo.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He wasn't really good at anything. So he didn't make a good stormtrooper. She at least had staff training, but that doesn't fucking with a staff doesn't really give you any real skill with a sword. It's
that's
different.
2 different things.
Yeah, it's a really different style of fighting. So for her to keep up with somebody who has been using the sword for a good amount of time,
all of their life, she should have lost that first fight,
and has had Jedi training with a sword as well. It shouldn't have been going toe to toe. It should be I am getting completely demolished right now.
Yeah,
like
that was another problem I had
with
that movie. Yeah, it's just if you looked at it from like a logical perspective, a lot of things just didn't make sense. And like with Finn, the reason I think like the one thing that bugs me about his character is I can understand. That's number one. But two, like one thing between him and Poe, the one thing that bugs me is like I understand all of Finn's story points, I get that, but like you can't just make Finn a pilot and then have him just go join up. Poe. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you made Finn a pilot and just say like, oh, he left the Empire. Let's say he left and got away and joined up with the rebellion because it's like, oh no, the Empire's wrong. Look, they doing all this bad shit. I'm gonna join up with the rebels. If he just joined up as like a new recruit, hey, I'm a good pilot. Okay, well we're gonna.
They would have killed him.
Yeah, you're right.
They would have straight up killed him because he
could be a double agent or whatever. Yeah, I get you, but.
And they had to say it. There was because when he showed up with him, they was like, "Who is this?" He was like, "No, he's good. He's with me." You know, like they didn't even have to worry about this dude because they trusted Poe's word that his character was good because he's the one that saved his life.
Yeah, you would have to have somebody like, and that's the thing, and that's if you change that, then that's if you take Poe out and let's say make Finn a pilot, you have to have somebody. Yeah, I see what you're saying. You have to have somebody bridge that gap with the rebels. If it's not Poe, he would have to save somebody else, and then you would have to introduce that somebody else to your movie and to just introduce him to. Yeah, I guess
exactly. Because if Poe was that good, get in and get out, he'd be Captain America.
Yeah, but like if let's say if you didn't have that minute detail that you would have, you could have Finn just join the rebels and have him be your pilot, have him be your Han Solo. You know, it's just like they could have took the movie in that direction because Poe, it's like
only would have worked if he was an actual pilot though.
Well,
Finn wasn't a pilot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They would have to make him a pilot instead of making him a, let's say, ground troop soldier. They would have to make him a pilot.
So then, how would they show him breaking the Force?
Well, he could be the pilot that brings that group of soldiers. Like he was a part of the group that landed.
Yeah,
he could be the pilot who piloted the ship and is on the ship watching the troops get off, and he's seeing everything from the cockpit or something. I don't know.
Man.
If they really wanted to do it, they could do it. But I see.
I don't think it'd have the same impact though.
Yeah,
because like the blood on his face, like that would never be an iconic thing. That's really what broke him. Is that was his friend.
Yeah.
Like that person that died wasn't somebody that was just random to him. That was somebody that he grew up with, going through this stuff with. And when he died, it was one of those yeah.
I have
it's like, what am I into? Yeah. Like not only did my friend die, but I'm also seeing these people who seemingly are without weapons or without a way to defend themselves, and we're slaughtering them.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing that kind of bugged me about the thing too, is just that they didn't really do anything. It's like they should have made Finn a Jedi. They should have had him, be like kind of like him and Rey should have been like, like you mentioned Lethal Weapon earlier, like that they should have been the Riggs and Murtaugh of the Star Wars movie. Where it's like, okay, you have them and you have Poe being the roguish guy who cracks all the jokes and flying the ships and stuff. But it's like you said, it's like once they got rid of, let's say, Phasma, there was this, it's like you had three different arcs.
Yeah, his character became useless.
Yeah. It's like you have three or four character arcs in a movie, but your movie can only hold two. It's like they didn't know what to do. And I think the Asian girl in the next one is like, okay, well, we got to give Finn something to do. So it's like they made or engineered that whole plot line with her, and it's like I think people saw that it wasn't genuine, so that's probably why they didn't like it. Yeah,
it could have been if I'm sorry to cut you off, but like before we move forward, it could have been better worked if their mission was actually meaningful.
Yeah,
because you remember they went to that mission to the casino to go find this person.
Yeah.
That apparently didn't exist. And they got another dude that can do the exact same thing for the person that they was looking for, but he was a traitor. So they're sitting there saying all this shit. It was basically like a 15-20 minute chase scene that led to nothing. Nothing came from that. Nothing good. They didn't meet the person they were supposed to meet. They didn't get what they were supposed to get. And the movie wasn't better for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like nothing happened. It was like supposed to be character development for these two characters, but they never learned anything.
Yeah. You didn't progress the character development. You just like, okay, stuff happened, but the characters didn't progress.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? Because we were talking about it anyway. We should watch the last movie on Twitch and stream it. I mean, I don't know, like, is there rules against that with Twitch? Oh, we can't do that?
I'm supposed to.
Okay. Damn it.
Yeah. I had looked it up when we were talking about the watch parties and shit. It's against the terms of service to rebroadcast anything like copyrighted material. Unless it's on their Twitch Prime video service.
Okay. What about like the audio, not necessarily the video?
Audio? Like listen to it?
Yeah. Yeah, because don't people play music and stuff on Twitch and all that?
Yeah, but even the audio is copyrighted.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. If we don't talk over it for the whole time, then when people hear it,
Yeah, Twitch got to ruin all of our YouTube plans. But that's a great idea because they have a lot of BS moments, in the third one. And it's one of those things where you can watch it, and since by you having not seen it, we can react to it. I don't know if we can somehow do that in some form or fashion, but I think that would be pretty cool.
We could probably do it on YouTube because YouTube still has the thing where you can use footage as long as you're doing like an educational piece. then you can still use it.
Okay. Well, maybe we can work something out to figure out a way to do it, because I think that'd be a really cool idea if anybody's into, Star Wars. I know a lot of people watch Star Wars videos and stuff on YouTube, and people
Probably like how we did Avatar.
Yeah. Just chop it up, or, watch it and talk about it, but chop it up or do whatever and then upload it some kind of way. But I think that'd be really cool, because we was talking about doing it anyway with other movies, and you haven't seen it at all. So I think, you can finally get the conclusion between, with those characters.
Yeah.
And either love it or hate it.
From what it sounds like, I'm gonna fucking hate it. I probably won't hate it. Like, there's very few movies that I just absolutely hate. Like Avatar: Last Airbender. Like, I hated that movie. But there's other movies that were like, that was trash. But I won't say I hate it.
Yeah.
It was worth the watch.
Yeah, to me, hate is a strong word. Like, if I hate a movie, that means I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to watch it again. It's just...
The Last Airbender is that for me.
Yeah, I will say... And that's only because I love the cartoon. If I didn't watch the cartoon, I'd probably be like, okay, this is just some okay, crappy movie.
I still didn't like the movie. Like,
it's still shitty, like, but I've seen worse.
I haven't. That's the problem. Like that is my worst. It's like we haven't seen worse than that. Unless you kind of like B.
That's what I'm
rated.
talking about. Yeah,
I can't count those because I've seen amateur shit that's just as like worse than that. You know what I mean? So when I think of like that was a big budget movie, I can't remember a day where I've seen a very big budget movie fail so fucking hard at telling a story in general.
Have you not seen the Independence Day sequel?
No, I haven't.
Same thing.
Really?
Yeah, they messed that movie up some horrible. Yeah. They tried to reboot and sequelize Independence Day and failed. Not horribly.
Wasn't Michael B. Jordan Will Smith's son in that movie?
No, it wasn't Michael B. Jordan. It was another black guy that's similar build and stuff, but no, it wasn't Michael B. Jordan. It was Will Smith didn't want to do it, so they had to write him out. So they brought in the main character is his son, and it's like Will Smith died in a plane training accident or some shit. Yeah. So it's like, and that's like Will Smith's the whole draw at Independence Day. It's like, okay, well if he ain't in it, then nobody cared.
Hey, but we bought his wife, so.
Vivica Fox is not the draw she used to be. Still look good though.
I mean, all she did was drive a truck. Like in the first one, all she did was drive a truck and save people. Like the president. Was it the president? No, the president was flying a plane.
Yeah.
She drove a truck to pick up like people,
random civilians.
Yeah, and I'm like,
they only did that in movies because it's like whenever people or Hollywood makes movies, they don't want people to feel bad, so they don't want to show people getting killed. It's the same reason why the dog lived in that movie, because Hollywood has a thing of not killing dogs because it makes people feel bad.
I ain't gonna lie, don't kill him.
Dog CG
don't kill
jumping after an explosion. Come on now.
Yeah, I know.
Man. But anyways, did you want to keep this going? We're at 3 hours and 30.
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
See, that's how we're gonna end it from this point forward. Nah, I'm good.
All right, guys, stream's over. Click. Man. All right, you want to outro this, or you just want to hit the stop button? What's going on?
Fuck it, just stop it. I don't even know how to intro this shit.